What a gorgeous night for football, and we have a great matchup for you tonight in City League South. It is week number 7 as tonight Independence travels to Marion-Franklin. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, as presented by Columbus State Community College. I'm Randy Reinhardt, alongside the football professor Jeff Logan and Jeff, City League South. And we've got bragging rights on the line tonight between these two teams. It's always a war.
Yeah, Randy, I love the competition between these two programs, and there is a lot of pride in the City League South. Most of these kids grew up with one another. They know each other. This could be a battle royale.
Let's take a look at the combatants tonight for Independence. The 76ers are 3-3. They are coached by Maurice Douglas, and he's in his 10th year, and I covered him some 30 years ago when he played high school football at Independence. He's got a great team, and one of the guys to watch for is just a sophomore. His name is Jalen Sample.
You know, both of these teams go deep into their young people, and Jalen Sample probably a good example of that. He's the running back, averaging 7.5 yards a try, 10 touchdowns already, just a sophomore, and then he'll go over and play defense as a safety. Randy, this is a kid that will not leave the field.
A bump in the road for them last week as they fell to Eastmoor Academy by a count of 41-6. On the other side, Marion-Franklin, the Red Devils, 4-2, coached by Dave Laxo. First year as head coach, 26 years as an assistant coach, and he's got a guy at quarterback that can play everywhere, I think, and he's proved it. His name is Jeremiah Tucker.
Well, I think they're very fortunate to have the coach here, and he dug deep into the talent pool of this program, and he grabbed the #1 receiver, Jeremiah Tucker, from last year and made him his quarterback. What's he done? 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he has also run for 5 touchdowns. He's special.
And they got by Briggs last week by a count of 48-8. What has happened in this series? They have split the last 4. Last year, Marion-Franklin won by 2, 14-12. What a game we should have tonight. The 76ers and the Red Devils coming up in mere moments right here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Marion-Franklin High School for this showdown in City League South between Independence and Marion-Franklin. It is time now to meet the third member of our broadcast team. We head to the sidelines for the legendary Mike Todd.
All right, thanks a lot, Randy. One guy I'm going to be keeping my eye on tonight from Marion-Franklin, #1, Jesse Johnson. 4 touchdowns this season. He plays both sides of the ball. Excited to see what kind of an impact he makes on both offense and defense tonight, guys.
Mike, thank you very much. In fact, Jesse Johnson III already has some offers from MAC schools as well, too. Great little wide receiver for the Red Devils. In this contest tonight, Marion-Franklin won the toss and deferred, so Independence will receive on your right to start this game. Great night for high school football as you look at the aforementioned #1 for the Red Devils, Jesse Johnson, who stands 6 feet, goes 178. A lot of talent on this field here, Jeff Logan, tonight, and a lot of youngsters. No less than about 5 freshmen will contribute tonight.
Yeah, the depth of the programs, Randy, are been tested, so they've really had to delve into the younger grades that might not normally be playing in a varsity football game, but they are really good. I watched in warm-ups. One of the things I noticed about Marion-Franklin, watching them warm up, they are a very long team, and they got a lot of really tall guys on their football team, and I'll be curious to see from a standpoint of how they will man up against what is also a very big Independence offensive and defensive line.
Remember, historically, Marion-Franklin has always had the big guys up front down through the years. I think that's one of the reasons they've been so strong so many seasons. It's time now for the Dr. Pepper kickoff. Dr. Pepper is the official drink of Fansville. It's all teed up in the person number 27, Maynard Lucero, 5'9", 155. Speaking of youngsters, he is just a sophomore, a soccer kid. Accurate, and they don't normally kick it too deep, though. They normally like to squib it or grenade it against good return teams. And he's got a birthday coming up on Sunday. A man who likes English and math. Let's see if he can combine those two here with his kickoff to start week number 7, 71 degrees at game time. Glad to have you aboard here on the CW Columbus. And they will pooch it along the ground. And it's bobbled and then covered up right at the 37-yard line. And that's where the 76ers will have their first possession of this contest some 2 seconds into this game. Leading the way is their quarterback, Demarie Williams, number 2 on your screen, and you can see what he's done. Not only passing the ball, but he's carried it some 32 times and garnered a couple touchdowns. Just started playing football, really, Jeff, about a year ago. A nice throwing arm, and he's trying to understand all the defenses, and head coach Maurice Douglas has been kind of feeding him what he can take and just adding to that as time goes on.
Yeah, you got to be patient with these guys. First year, obviously, playing the game in a long, long time. and very athletic at what he does. And Randy, his numbers are good. 10 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, though completing less than 50% of his passes.
Quick pop, Jeff, on the first play to the far side of the field. They'll get it out to near the 39, maybe the 40-yard line. Pass is complete to Michael Johnson on the play. 6'2", 160, and a junior. He's joined at a wideout by Sean Munnerlyn, who can also play a tight end. And the other wide receiver is Raekwon Williams-McGee. Williams, the quarterback. The running backs are Bryce and Sample, that we touched on in the pregame. Again, Sample each just 17 yards to hit 1,000 on the campaign, and he will get an opportunity to take it around the outside and look for the 1,000 on this play. He'll get it up to around the 45-yard line before he's knocked down by number 11. That is Jalen Nicholson, who's a backup quarterback, along with starting as a strong safety as well, too, for Marion-Franklin. Todd Carter, the son of Gary Carter, is the D coordinator. We got him about a 3rd and 3 right now. Up front, Leviticus Brown, a guy that's been around, 5'11", 305, and a junior. Watch Tatum on the outside, 2 linebackers, 1 change. And then Trent Salters sprained his ankle this past week. He will not be in there to start, so Ramir Lockhart gets the nod in the secondary. Good numbers for Tucker. You mentioned the fact that he's the quarterback, Jeff, but also has 1 pick on the campaign as well, too. So it'll be on a 3rd down play. They'll keep it on the ground and try to get it up to the sticks for the 1st down. And from this vantage point, looks like they're shy, as that time it is big number 2, Williams, on the carry. And Damari had to get the ball to the 48. And, Jeff, it looks like it's 4th and less than 1.
Yeah, early in the football game, Randy, a coaching decision being made across the way. I got to believe you put your offensive football team out there and say, listen, guys, this is City League South football. We're going to be tougher than them. Let's make this happen.
We have an official's timeout that was taken on the field here at 10.
They're going to measure.
38 left to go, so they'll bring the sticks from the far side. It looks to be short from this vantage point. Again, our referee for tonight is Scott Wilson. We actually have an injury on our crew. Joe Sergio is not the umpire tonight. Chris Watkins filling in for him, and linesman is Colin Daniel, Andy Nowlin, and Shane Harding make up the crew. So Joe is here tonight, and we wish him the best and hope he gets back on the crew very soon. He's the younger brother, much younger brother, he told me, of Pat Sergio, who's the longtime coach at Centennial for the Stars in the past. And you can see it is shy, according to Mr. Wilson, by that much. There's Maurice Douglas, head coach here, number 10. Assistant on and off before he got the head coaching job at Indy since about 2000. There are your officials for tonight's contest. A little repair work being done right now on the shoulder of big number 52 for the 76ers. That's Adiel Cruz, who plays at right tackle. So first big play, and it's 4th down and less than 1.
See if they come out with a hard count here, Randy. See if they can get Marion-Franklin to jump.
Waiting for the sticks to be set. Now they are. Our umpire will back out of the way. And on the keeper, nothing fancy that time. And they'll get the 1st down. The one thing you'll notice, too, about Independence, Jeff, when they get up to the line, they like to snap the ball within 5 seconds of breaking the huddle. And sometimes they go no huddle. Well, got the 1st down.
The idea of going fast, Randy, is not allowing the defense to be able to substitute, not allowing the defense to be able to set up. And the difficulty for the offense, though, is trying to get different formations. If you're going fast, you generally have to go with your base offense. And I'll be curious to see if we continue to run the quarterback from sideline to the middle of the field to get the play call.
Johnson top, Munnerlyn bottom, 1 man in the slot on the boot. Looking as Williams dumps underneath. Trying to adjust. The football was thrown a little behind him at the 40-yard line. Pass falls incomplete, intended on the play for Raekwon Williams-McGee, who has some 18 catches coming into this contest.
Watch the ball faking in the backfield. Demarie Williams does a really good job of fooling the defense. They all went for the play. And you can see, again, that ball almost brought down for the catch. Raekwon Williams-McGee was in the area, wide open. And, again, a young quarterback over there for the positions. Got to make sure he squares himself to the target to deliver it on time.
2nd down and 10 now from the 48-yard line. We had motion up front, and I think we may have an encroachment call. We'll take a listen now from Scott Wilson.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense number 55, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's one thing that's been a problem for both teams at times is the silly penalties. I'm not sure how many smart ones there are, but there are a few silly ones, and the encroachment one is one of those.
Boy, those guys have put their hand down in the dirt, those defensive linemen. You know, all they're telling them to do is watch the football, but it's so hard to ignore the sounds going on around you.
Coming on a blitz. In fact, they'll blitz on every play from somewhere. Quick pop pass is complete this time. He finds number 13, Williams-McGee, who's got the ball down to around the 40-yard line. That's enough for a 76ers first down with 9:50 left to go.
You know, the one thing interesting about the independent 76ers throwing the football is they haven't been 100% accurate in terms of what they do, but when they do hit them, they hit big plays. Example, Raekwon Williams-McGee averaging nearly 20 yards every time he catches the football.
He's got 6 touchdowns, and also he scored 5 two-point conversions. 76ers do not kick the extra point. They go for 2, and that is Sample around the far side. Tight ropes the sidelines and still pushes the pile and stays inbounds all the way down inside the 20. Jeff, it looked like he ran out of real estate and geography around the 30-yard line and still was able to tight rope and get a nice gain on the play.
Well, good blocking up front. You can see the seal blocking there, the ability to be able to turn the corner. And the cornerback on that side, Jeremiah Tucker, who's the quarterback on the offensive football team, had the contain over there.
It's a gain of 18 on the play, and Jeff, that throws him over the 1,000-yard mark on the season. So 1st and 10, mark the ball at the 22-yard line. And the handoff, quick hitter that time. They'll march the ball inside the 18 to near the 17-yard line as they take it off the right side. And the handoff goes to Vontez Bryce. Bryce is a guy that comes into this contest with 46 carries. And you know, you can list him as a fullback, but when you're 5'7" and 140, you're kind of not, you're 3/4 full, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, 15 years old, don't have a driver's license, and they're asking you to carry the leather all night. But Jalen Sample there, he was a Hartley attendee a year ago, though he lives in the area as a freshman, back here as a sophomore. They love him running downhill.
Williams on the boot. It looked like there could be a busted play as the hit is made. Great penetration that time by Royce Morris, who's in the contest for Marion-Franklin. Didn't know if he'd be able to play tonight, but Morris is indeed able to play. Makes a nice stop on play as well.
They tried to make a cut block over there, and the lineman went down. The defender saw it coming, just pushed the lineman to the ground, stepped right over top, and Royce Harris able to make the play.
So after the hit by Morris, who's got a birthday on the 15th, it'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 3rd and just about 11. Make that 3rd and 9. And the hit on the play, the ball is free.
That's a live ball.
And they hunt for it, and the Red Devils are still trying to scoop it up, and they finally have it at the 31-yard line. Corralled by that man on the play, number 11, Jalen Nicholson, who comes up and makes the play. The strong side outside linebacker, or a strong safety sometimes, as he alternates between those two slots. And 12 solos, 8 assists, and 6 tackles for loss. And now he comes up with a fumble recovery.
Randy, this was play number 10 on the drive, and this strip sack is just coming from the blind side. Not much you can do to prepare yourself for that. You know, as a quarterback, you got to have your head on a swivel a little bit. You got to know where that blitz is coming from when you get to the line of scrimmage. And that's a lesson to be learned by a young quarterback in that position. Now, Jeremiah Tucker gets his chance to take over as the quarterback of the Marion-Franklin Red Devils.
The 5'10 senior is also a good wide receiver in his own right. But they need him at QB, and that's where he is. They go with the triple stack to the bottom, one back in the backfield on this first down play. Student body right, toss sweep, trying to turn the corner. There's a gap, and they work it outside, and look out. Big run across midfield, still working his way, is Taylon James, and James with a nice gainer all the way inside the 40-yard line. James came into this game 48 carries, good for 400 yards, and he's got a big gainer right there.
Junior running back sets up his blocking right here very nicely, patient. You can see the great blocking inside. Creates the hole, and this is a great opportunity for the Red Devils to get the thing going here at the very beginning of the football game.
Make that tally now 430 yards on the campaign, picks up 30 on that play. 1st and 10 from the 39 now, the 76ers, who played just over 4 minutes, quarter number 1. Evenly split 4 wideouts now with one back in the backfield on this first down play for Jeremiah Tucker and company. He will hand it off, and they'll burrow their way to the 37-yard line, pick up a couple on the play, maybe 3 at most, as the handoff that time goes to big number 23 on the play from Marion-Franklin, and that is Mikal Perry. There's the offense for the Red Devils with Johnson, Scales, Ward, Tatum, Lauderdale, Brown, Murphy, and Scruggs. Scruggs is at least a 3-year starter already now for the Red Devils. Tolbert is the H-back in the backfield. James will see most of the action carrying the football. As Dave Laxo, the head coach, is also the offensive coordinator. He likes that pro style and the spread. Just gives the defense a lot to prepare for. They'll spread it out this time again with 4 wideouts and one back in the backfield. On a second down and a gain of 2 in that first down play, so make it 2nd and 8. Tucker had time, tries to go outside, and the ball's free. And there's also a flag on the play.
Looked like he might have ended up getting a face mask when he made the tackle, Randy. Let's see what the call is by the official.
Devon Bufford comes up with the football.
Personal foul. face mask, defense number 56, 15-yard penalty, results in a first down.
So the Red Devils will keep the ball as Tucker needs to be aware, I think, of the guy coming from the backside as well, too. Defensively for the 76ers, Richard DeLazia handles that, played at Hamilton Township under Bob Jacoby. Claiborne is a guy to watch for up front. He is very, very strong. Then you got Sean Jones, who's a good linebacker, too, and the guys in the secondary. A lot of similar names that you'll see on the offense as well, too. In fact, all of them, Munnerlyn, Bryce, Sample, and Williams McGee, playing on both sides. As Independence is a D3 school, and the squad from Marion-Franklin is Division IV. 1st and 10, mark the ball just inside the 25-yard line with 6:56 left to go in the first. Toss sweep is in an option pass. A man wide open downfield, underthrown, and it's deflected. The pass falls incomplete. You could see that coming because of the depth that the running back was taking, and on the play that allowed Jalen Sample to kind of turn around and go, oh, look what's here, the football.
And they dialed it up, and the receiver was wide open. If Talon James would have been able to get rid of the football just a little bit quicker, his receiver was wide open. See how he threw it off the back foot and underthrew the ball? That's the difference between a running back and a quarterback being able to make that throw. So I know they worked hard on that play all week. And it's tough to surprise them twice, Randy. So they kind of took their shot there and didn't get it done.
Intended for Bryce, but Sample was the guy that turned around and said, look what I found. 2nd out of 10 now from the 25.
Under center.
Backs are split, too. On the counter play, little handoff. Then there's a nice opening inside the 15, all the way down to the 13-yard line for Talon James. A guy that missed game 1, Jeff, with a banged-up knee, but he's healthy now and fast. And I think you can see he's shifty. I'm not sure he's the strongest guy, but he's got some good moves.
Watch him read here. He's able to make the pop outside. You got a defensive lineman trying to run you down, and he's just too quick for that. One of the things they got to be careful on the outside. Jesse Johnson out there blocking. Got to make sure he keeps a hand out of that jersey. Nearly got a holding call.
Gain of 12 on the play. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line with just over 6 left to go in the first quarter. 3 wide, and I mean way wide to the bottom of the formation this time. As they try to spread out that defense. Hand it off. Big opening off the left side and taking it inside the 5 and in for the touchdown. Jeremiah Tucker gets the touchdown. That is his 6th on the ground this season. And there's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. And it makes it 6-0 Marion-Franklin.
Yeah, this is a quarterback draw design play from the very beginning, Randy. Watch the faking here. And you see the trap block on the outside really made things work. And a good block there. Jesse Johnson, that wide receiver, doing a good job of getting in the way of that cornerback, allowing quarterback Jeremiah Tucker to take it in for the score.
Maynard Lucero now to make it 7-0 for the Red Devils. Snap, kick, and it is nothing but flagpole on the other side as he drills it. 7-0 the tally with 6:12 left to go in the first quarter. Week number 7 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights as presented by Columbus State Community College right here on the CW Columbus. So Tucker calls his own number and takes it the last 13 yards for the touchdown, and the extra point is added by Lucero. And there's your scoring summary, Jeff. After the miscue, 5 plays, nearly 70 yards, and nearly 2 minutes off the clock to make it 7-0 in favor of the home squad here in week number 7 of high school football action. 2 teams in City League South. Marion-Franklin right now 3-0 in City League. South Bulldogs also undefeated in City League play in the South, and also Walnut Ridge. And then Independence is a game back with a 2-1 mark. They fall like they've been hit when they get that knuckleball kick that time, and it's covered up by Yvonne Bufford. Here now are your Honda's keys to the game for Independence. Ample sample. You know what that means. The guy that's got 1,000 yards rushing needs to touch it a lot. Neutralize the size, too. Marion-Franklin is a little longer, as Jeff mentioned, so you're going to have to deal with that additional size of the Red Devils. On the other side for Marion-Franklin, Tucker out. In other words, let's get Mr. Tucker out there and show him the outside, and that's what Jeremiah did on that 13-yard touchdown run. Then also, don't look over the ridge. Next week, Marion-Franklin has to take on the Fighting Scots, so focus on this game. Late add on defense, and a quick pop, and the pass falls into the bread basket. Was it caught at the 45-yard line? Yes. Intercepted on the play by guess whom? But there's a flag on the play as well, too, resting at the 50-yard line. It's intercepted by Tucker, but we'll see what the flag is all about at the 50-yard line. Scott Wilson conferring with his crew. Independence had everybody set on offense, but the Red Devils, Jeff, had only 10 on defense and added a DB at the last moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they maybe thought there was a 12th player on the defensive side. flag thrown in the backfield, the defensive backfield of Marion-Franklin. So
that's why I brought that up, because there's a late ad on the field, but at the time I couldn't count to 12, let alone 5. And the quick rollout and the pass by Williams.
Yeah, they're going to pick it up, Randy. That's exactly what happened.
Yep, they're waving it off. There were only 11 on the field.
And it was an interception. So
count it as a miscue.
First down.
Well, that's 2 turnovers on the first 2 drives. The first drive plays 10 offensive plays for Independence. They came up with nothing as the quarterback was stripped. This time, watch the interception here. Lays out. Looks like he had the ball the entire way. That was
Tucker.
Really, really good defense.
Yeah, his second pick now in the campaign, and you can see the flag being tossed too by Shane Harding, our back judge. And they went ahead and counted and found out that was the 11th man coming on the field. So now Marion-Franklin gets it back with the ball resting at their own 44-yard line and a chance for more halfway through the first quarter.
How about Jeremiah having himself a night? Scores the first touchdown. Now he gets a pick. And he's back in there at offense as the quarterback right at the 46-yard line.
Not being selfish, the game's coming to him, and we have a whistle and a flag before the start of the contest. I think we have a false start on the offense.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Scott is one serious dude when he makes a call.
Yeah, he's got it down. I like the efficiency.
Got the game face going.
Yeah, you got to believe that the Red Devils felt pretty good about that first drive, Randy. They were very efficient in terms of what they had to do. No negative plays in there. They actually had a touchdown that they threw away with a halfback pass that was wide open.
And I like what I've seen from not only Jeremiah Tucker, but Talon James, too, the 5'11", 184-pound junior running back, too. And he's back there and does an outstanding job helping to run that offense with Tucker. And don't forget Jesse Johnson that Mike Todd mentioned about earlier. And they've got Matt Ward tonight, number 20, the tight end. Yeah. He was kind of a question mark, been nursing an elbow injury, and I think he's been able to get some playing time here.
Looks like a clock issue that they're trying to work on here.
They need to reset the clock since it was a dead ball.
They got it.
Delay, it would go from 5:56 back to 6:03. And to need 3 more. There we go. The clock is now rectified to be 6:03. Last week we mentioned Independence with the loss to Eastmore, and according to Rich Douglas, probably their worst game of the season. 2 weeks before that, they beat Afrocentric 50-20, and then the week after they beat West 70-14 before the loss against Eastmore 41-6. And they're off to a slow start here tonight. Marion-Franklin looking for the jugular early in this one with 6:03 left to go. 1st and 15 now. Keep it on the ground and punch it outside. Nothing inside, so James will say, I'll find what I can, and push defenders and keep fighting down the sidelines. That guy looked like he's 284, now 184, and Talon. A tale of a running back bouncing it outside and making a huge gainer and getting a first down.
Well, what an impressive night so far for Talon James. He's reading this play. It's supposed to go to the left side. He breaks it out to the right. Now this is just making people miss and breaking ankles out there in the wide open and using that stiff arm, take care of the football, and they've got it down inside the 20-yard line.
Well, he's got a 30-yard gain, and now that was a 31-yard gain. So it'll be 1st down and 10 with 5:35 left to go. Mark the ball right at the 20-yard line. Tucker going to hand it off. And this time the defense stays home. Not much to shout about in that play as James on the carry. And it'll be 2nd down with just about 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. It is time now for the Aspen Dental Smile Cam. Aspen Dental has offices in Hilliard, Delaware, Pickerington, and several other Central Ohio locations. Schedule a new patient appointment at aspendental.com. Aspen Dental, simply easier. Did you brush tonight?
I hope so.
Okay, so do I. It is now 2nd down, no gain on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 10.
Notice the different pace of the two teams, Randy. Red Devils a little bit more tentative, and we've got another flag.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So move it back 5. Normally when you reach this point of the season, Jeff, in week number 7, you're hoping to cut those false starts and encroachments to a minimum, but it can still creep in there, especially when you play a rivalry game like this. So it'll be 2nd down now. 2nd and 15 from the 25 for Tucker from the gun. And calls his own number. Nice little glide inside, then hooks it outside. Look at the run. aims for the corner, flag on the play, takes it in, but we'll see what the hanky's all about, as that's dropped inside the 15-yard line.
Going to be holding out on the perimeter. Randy, I mentioned in the previous drive that they had what I thought was close to holding.
Offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
I didn't want to be right on this thing, but there was a play earlier in the drive before where I warned that Jesse Johnson was out there, got a little bit of the jersey, and this time he got a full hand, and the officials took it away. Again, a great move by Jeremiah Tucker. Top of your screen on the right, there you can see basically a tackle being made, number 1 on number 1. That was Sean Merlin, the linebacker, who's actually playing a little corner back tonight.
And there you see Jeremiah Tucker coming to the sidelines, and I think they'll burn a timeout. They will. And it happens with 4:20 left to go. We'll take a break. 7-0. Marion-Franklin leads. And when we come back, we'll have a special guest joining us here in the contest. Week number 7 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College here on the CW Columbus. Fans, Friday night before the 11 o'clock news, join host Jay Richardson for AEP Ohio First Scores on Fox 28. Get the scores and highlights from the best high school football games in Central Ohio every Friday at 10:45 p.m. only on Fox 28. All the dignitaries come out to Thursday Night Lights, and we're joined right now by the one and only Honorable Mayor of Columbus, the one and only Andrew J. Ginter. I don't think I've ever used your middle initial, but Mayor, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here tonight. And
great night for football. Huh?
Great night for football. You were a Whetstone Brave, were you not?
I was.
All right, that's what I thought too. And on top of that, a big sports day for the city of Columbus as well, correct?
Great day. A great day for our city, great day for neighborhoods throughout our great city.
We'll touch on what we're talking about in just a second on a second down and long. Tucker with a little waggle, looking downfield, looking long, has a man down near the goal line, and it's caught for the touchdown. Put it in the end zone for Royce Morris. Morris makes the catch for the touchdown, and then it was 13-0 in this game. So, Mayor, we were talking about the fact it was a big sports day, and that includes the Columbus Crew. You want to tell everyone what happened today?
Well, we broke ground on a new stadium in a new neighborhood, and excited about not just the soccer, but the jobs that are going to be created, record minority participation, and really creating a new job center down there in the Arena District. So we're really excited about it.
And, Jeff, you love business development, do you not, sir?
Absolutely. And, that's an area that has been targeted for a lot of years.
That's right.
And somebody was just trying to find out the right use for it, and I think it'll be spectacular.
Yeah, it's going to be great mixed use. There's going to be affordable housing. We think we're going to be able to create about 6,200 new jobs in addition to what already is taking place down there. So we're pretty excited about it.
That's terrific.
Talking with the mayor of Columbus, Mayor Ginter, and I know something near and dear to your heart, too, is something called Celebrate One. That's a big campaign going on right now. Touch on what that is all about, if you will.
It's all about reducing our infant mortality rates, and one of the best ways to do that is to reduce sleep-related deaths. We still lose way too many children in our community before their first birthday because they're not following the ABCs of their families, and caregivers aren't. ABC, always alone, on your back, and in a crib, and making sure that everyone that helps to take care of that young one, whether it's grandparents and loved ones and other caregivers and significant others, all are practicing those ABCs to stay asleep every time that child's put down to rest. So we're making some progress, but it's still an issue that disproportionately negatively impacts the African American community. And we have brought some old greats off the gridiron to help us reach our message in different ways. Pepper Johnson and Beanie Wells and, just great ex-Buckeyes that are doing an incredible job helping us reach people with different messages.
Yeah,
and there's the kickoff as well, too. And Deontay Johnson, too, the son of Pepper.
Johnson, yes.
And here's the return up across the 25 to the 30 and dicing his way and fighting. And look at this run back now by Vontez Bryce. Bryce across midfield all the way down to the 45 of Marion-Franklin. So that's a great campaign because, you see a beanbag chair and you think, well, it's going to be safe for the baby, but they roll over and they can suffocate. 23 infant deaths last year in Franklin County alone.
Yeah, and 80% of them were to African-American children. And so really trying to use the star power and the reach of those outstanding men to get people talking about this in barbershops and at birthday parties and at family gatherings to make sure that our kiddos reach their first birthday and thrive.
Yeah,
we'll touch on a website too. Jeff, you were going to say?
Well, we're expecting our first grandchild. We found out, and my wife went to a grandparents class. We live in Dublin, not in the city. There's the call.
Gets the call on the defense.
And one of the things she came back from that meeting was those statistics and how shocking that part of the statistics were. Had no idea. So anything we can do from an awareness standpoint, and I know guys like Pepper, we all learned to pay forward when we were at Ohio State. Woody Hayes taught us, Earl Bruce taught us, everybody down the line said you got to pay forward, and if those guys can help make a difference in lives, let's get on board.
Yeah, it's some of the most important work that they've ever been part of. They said, we know they played before thousands of fans on Saturdays in Ohio Stadium, but this work, particularly as newer dads and granddads, and Chris's family has grown dramatically. He's just now adopted, I think, 4 more daughters that are part of his family, and so they understand the importance of this, and we're so grateful to them for stepping up in this type of way.
Yeah. And Williams, by the way, recovered the fumble that he caused on that play, so now they'll take it around the outside, and it is Sample on the carry. So there's a website I know that people can go to, and that is celebratesafesleep.com, correct, for more information.
Yes, and we want everybody to be part of the Sweet Dreams team. And so that means every little one that's in our community, that grandparents, cousins, nieces, whoever's helping to take care of baby, obviously mom and dad, are all practicing safe sleep and talking about what those ABCs mean for that little one.
Yeah, got to be education, and people have got to buy into the importance of that, and anything we can do to help you with that process, we'd love to.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's every nap, every time, right. and when you're putting one down for a nap or for the night's rest, or they're visiting friends, taking packing plays with them to make sure there's that safe sleep environment when they're not at home.
CelebrateSafeSleep.com is the website to go to. Important information. It's important when the mayor drops by. And by the way, I'm going to tell Beanie Wells and Pepper Johnson, you called them old.
Old Buckeyes.
Well, I think Chris is younger than I am, so I don't know if I would do that. I remember growing up watching Pepper Johnson and wanting to be a great linebacker like he was, and so many great games for him in the NFL at the highest level. Just some great folks.
Now, was Coach Belisari the football coach at Whetstone when you were there?
Yeah, so Coach Belisari, my first 2 years, and then Jack Radiger my final 2 years at Whetstone. And I was too slow to play football at Ohio State, so I went to go play for the Fighting Quakers of Earlham College.
There you go.
Let me tell you something. That program is so good that it's been disbanded. They're not playing football at Earlham anymore. They've dumped the football program altogether. I think they lost over 30 straight games.
Yeah. When I was there, we had a little bit better of a team. In fact, we had some of the winningest teams in recent memory at Earlham back in the mid-'90s. But we had a lot of fun then and played other great schools. And Earlham is just a tremendous college, and so lucky to be part of it.
On a 4th down and 14, it's a jump ball at the 10-yard line, and the Red Devils will knock it down and get it back with 1:53 left to go.
Well, regardless of where you play, at what level, whether it's Earlham or it's at Ohio State, the game of football and what we're watching here tonight teaches so many good life lessons. You played the game. You understand. It's not about going out there and being physical. It's about learning to be a team and a teammate.
That's right.
That's what it's all about.
Great life lessons, for family, for business, for your career. Are you able to work with people towards a common goal, even though you might have, individual positions, and understanding how that connection is going to make you all better and more successful. My daughter has played some individual sports and has just recently started playing basketball, and she's really learning about what teamwork is all about and how to help out each other, support each other.
That is awesome.
And that's exactly what these young men are learning out here tonight.
And the Red Devils will try to do something with the football now that they have it. A little toss out. That'll be a forward pass. That was kind of a Utah shovel pass there, a.k.a. just like Lee Groscup used to do some years ago when Jeff was in his infancy playing.
That was at Earlham. They had those plays.
Yes. Notice when he said when they were winning games back then for the Quakers, it was like 2 or 3 a season.
There
but anyway. Now, thank you so much, Mayor, for your time and your support of athletics here.
Yeah,
not only on the amateur level, but on the college and the professional level as well, too. Big day for sports scene in Columbus with the Crew getting their new stadium. So we thank you, and thank you for putting up with this guy as well, too.
Great to be with you. with you. Good
Great
to see you again, my friend.
Take care of
Thank
yourself.
you.
The mayor of Columbus, Andrew Ginther, joining us here in the first quarter. It's 14-0 in this one. Marion-Franklin with the ball back, Jeff, and looking for more on a 2nd down and 10 from their own 40. They'll keep it on the ground this time and maneuver up to around the 42-yard line. So they'll pick up a couple on the play in the person of number 5. That is Taylon James. So it'll be 3rd down with, just about 90 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Just a reminder, at the start of the second quarter, our sideline reporter Mike Todd will talk with Doc West, the principal of Independence High School. You know you're somebody, Jeff, when you get to talk to the mayor. So thanks, Mayor, for coming up.
Years ago when I was part of the on the board of the Chamber of Commerce in Columbus, I got to do a trip to Washington, D.C. with a even younger Andrew Ginther, as he was part of the group of Columbus officials that went over to Washington.
I remember when he was Andy. Pass a little high at that time, intended for Royce Morris, and that's going to cause a 4th and 7 with 1:02 left to go. It looks like at least a punting situation now for Jalen Faulkner. Big number 56.
Randy, that last drive by Independence while we had the mayor up here, the blitzes and the rushes that were put on Demarie Williams, just brutal. They're not having given really any time to be able to throw the football at all. Let's see if they can secure things here on the punt. The kickoff, or they've had some good plays offensively, but they keep shooting themselves in the foot with negative plays.
Remember what I said, they blitz 99% of the time. Faulkner to get it off, and booms this one. Nice punt, and it's caught and dropped along the far sideline there by number 13, and that is Raekwon Williams-McGee. But the 76ers will get it back now, but they've got work to do. Under a minute left to go in the first, and down 14-0 in this one. Offensively, what has worked well for the 76ers early in this game?
Well, Randy, anything that is a quick hitter from a standpoint of not allowing, if you're going to expose the quarterback, to be back in that backfield for any extended period of time, because there's just no way that offensive line has been able to pick up the blitzing that has been going on by Marion-Franklin on the defensive side. And if anybody knows how to make the adjustments, it's that guy Maurice Douglas in his 10th season. 5-5 a year ago, 4-3 in the conference. 2017, Randy, they were a playoff team.
Toss sweep far side, and nice job by Sample to turn the corner, stay in bounds, and turn on the afterburners all the way down inside the 45-yard line. But there's a hanky on the field at the 38. We'll see if we're coming back.
Boy, this Jalen Sample's an impressive young man running the football. Mentioned over 1,000 yards tonight with his forward progress that he's had tonight.
Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So the holding call will negate the long run. Against Afrocentric, Sample had 20 carries, 183 yards. Against West, 36 carries, 326 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And the hold on the outside there as he turned the corner.
You could see, and once again, it was Jeremiah Tucker who playing that corner back position up there to make the play, and was held up, and that'll send them back. That's what I keep talking about, having positive plays, Randy, but then negative things happening, and they can't continue to do this against a really solid Marion-Franklin team.
It's going to be first down and just about 8 on the quick pass to the far side. The pass falls incomplete on the play. Trying to get the ball out of the backfield rapidly, and as he did so, he overthrew the intended receiver on the play. That was Vontez Bryce. So Maurice Douglas and company getting the information back out there. Before 2017, when Independence got a share of the City League crown back then, the last time they'd won the City League South crown was 2003. Made the playoffs not only in 17, but back in 2008 as well, too. It's going to be second down at 8 with 40 seconds left to go. And look at the defense.
Nothing there.
The penetration, too. You got a block on the outside, and go ahead and flex. You deserve it right now, big number 55. It's the one and only Quanair Tatum.
Tatum playing that defensive end position, 7.5 tackles for a loss already this season, nearly decapitates the runner, and he's going to celebrate a little bit and enjoy.
Look at that frame, too, 6'3", 254, and Hello coming back. He's just a junior, a returning starter. So a loss on the play, third down and long, and they'll just try to run it right up the gut and get what they can. And the stop is made right at the 31-yard line. So a nice game, but not nearly enough on the play, as the handoff that time goes to Vontez Bryce, and Bryce came into this contest rushing for nearly 300 yards on the season. And that'll do it for the first 12 minutes. 14-0 the count in this one. This is week number 7 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College here on the Seat.
Marion-Franklin leading Independence by a score of 14-0. Welcome back to the second quarter of Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus, presented by Columbus State Community College. Happy to be joined by the principal in Independence High School, Doc West. Doc, thanks for joining us this evening. What are some of the things you're excited about this school year?
We're just excited about a lot of great things, Mike, going on at Independence High School. Our grade card just went up. Our grade went up one grade on the state report card. We're really excited about that. Also at our school, we have an 86% graduation rate. We're really proud about that, getting students across the stage, the graduation stage. Diversity is one of our big pieces. We're just like a great family at Independence High School.
And I know you've had a couple of students who were at a college fair, and they got accepted to college right away.
Yeah, all of our seniors were invited to the Kiwanis College Fair this Monday, and our students were excited and, filling out applications. And two of them came back and said, Mr. West, we got accepted to college this week. I was excited about that and happy for the students.
I can't imagine the pride you're feeling right now about that. So what's the feeling been like this week, knowing that you're going to be on Thursday Night Lights again?
It was exciting. And, a couple of students earlier in the week said, Mr. West, can we get a fan bus? And, we went to our athletic director. He got us a fan bus. So we've got a group of fans out here that came over on the school bus who normally wouldn't have been able to get to the school, over to the school in the game. So we're excited about that.
All right. Well, Doc West, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Doc West, principal at Independence High School. Guys, back up to you.
Good to know the doctor is in the house. 31 yards on the punt. We thank the 76ers for all the great work they do, and especially the teachers every single day. 1st and 10 now, 38-yard line for Marion-Franklin as we start the second quarter, and we have whistles before we do so. And we have a timeout taken by Independence before we actually start the second quarter, so they'll burn the timeout. Take a look at some of the numbers, and we can see 123-49 total offense in favor of Marion-Franklin, and a couple scores in that first stanza by the squad from Marion-Franklin. Opportunistic, as you can see this time. Williams trying to turn and look downfield. Ball knocked away and recovered then by the Red Devils, and then Tucker calls his own number. Jeff takes it in for the touchdown from 13 yards out.
And he ends up being a big play here as the next turnover comes up. And this is the interception again by Jeremiah Tucker making the play.
And this time it'll be a boot pass looking downfield for Morris. 25 yards from Tucker. Lucero would add the PAT, and that's why we stand at 14-0 here in this contest. We mentioned the total yards to Marion-Franklin, 123-49. 98 rushing, 25 passing for the Red Devils, 40 on the ground, and 9 in the air for the 76ers. 2 turnovers for Independence. Those were huge in the first quarter. And neither team converted a third down. 0 for 4 for the visitors, 0 for 1 from the home squad.
Yeah, 6 penalties, though, Randy, for Marion-Franklin in that first quarter. That's something that David Laxo has been working on his football team with, is to cut out the penalties.
We reset the clock to 11:54, by the way. First down play, high snap, kept by Tucker, and he's got a seam, and he's going to burn it outside, and nobody there to try to get him. He's going to take it down the sidelines all the way for the touchdown. Some 62 yards with 11:42 left to go. And didn't I say that make him tuckered out? Well, Jeremiah just picked up his 7th touchdown on the ground this season, and then it was 20-0.
This guy has been dynamic all night, Randy, and good blocking, but this is a great effort by the senior quarterback, Jeremiah Tucker, who has now been involved in one way, shape, or form with every one of the scores tonight. Thrown for a touchdown, run for 2, and he's got an interception on the defensive side.
And that's another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and extra point time again now for Maynard Lucero, 5'9", sophomore. So rapid start to the second quarter. The snap, the kick, plenty of leg. It is up, and 3 converted touchdowns for the home squad. Early in this one is the Red Devils lead right now to the tune of 21-0 early in quarter number 2. And take a look at him. Tucker motoring down the sidelines for the 3rd score right here in week number 7 on the CW Columbus. Red Devils 4-2, looking to go 5-2 and have the upper hand early in this one, 21-0 over the 3-3 76ers. Parents, families, Papa John's and the CW Columbus want to share your high school football photos. Go to cwcolumbus.com, upload your pics to the Papa John's fan channel, and look for them on TV during next week's Honda's Thursday Night Lights. One of your photos may be the Papa John's fan photo of the week. All I know is Those are great to look at, but their pizza's even better to eat, as we sampled it before the contest tonight.
You call that sampling?
No. But I was trying to be kind there after 12 pieces, is that right?
It's a little bit more shoveling.
The only true sample is the one on the field tonight wearing the number 9 for the 76ers. Again, the short kick, and it's going to be at the 35-yard line where the 76ers and Sample and company will get it back. There's that last drive. It was rapid. One play, 62 yards, and 12 seconds for Mr. Tucker to take it the distance. All right, you're down by 3 scores. If you have a certain scenario or game plan going into this, if you're Maurice Douglas, do you change anything right now?
Well, you got to protect your quarterback, and right now, Demario Williams is back there defenseless when he's trying to throw the ball. Now he is up under center.
Offset eye this time. They'll take it around the far side, and there's room down the sidelines all the way up near midfield. On the carry that time once again is Jalen Sample. Good news for him. He's going to have a nice rushing yardage total here tonight, but the bad news is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, quit throwing the football in this instance. 21-0, no need to panic. You've had some good, solid running plays tonight. You just have continued to make mistakes if you're Independence with a couple of turnovers and some penalties along the way, but my goodness, just keep running the football.
So Jalen likes football, English, and eating. Had 123 yards rushing against Meadowdale. They take it right up gut again and across midfield. And this time it is big number 3, and that is Vontez Bryce on the carry. And Bryce, again, he doesn't run like a guy who weighs 140, Jeff. He will run with power, and we talk always about accelerating in a contact. And that's one thing you can tell just by watching Vontez Bryce for a quarter he likes to do.
Well, and they got a 1-2 punch back there with Jalen Sample, who's more of a downhill guy, not very fancy, and then you bring in the shiftier running back.
There's Sample to the far side, and he'll get it down to around the 45-yard line before the teeth of that defense bends him back for a gain of about 5 on the play. There's part of the defense right there helping to make the hit on the play, and that's Giovanni Scales. Scales, returning starter at cornerback, 8 solos, 3 assists, a tackle for loss. He has an interception for 35 yards and returning starter for the junior.
Yeah, he's one of those long guys I was talking about, 6'1", 172 pounds, just a junior football player. A lot of frame there to be able to fill out next year. I think he'll be a really good football player as a senior.
Gain of a couple on the play, 2nd down and 8 on the slant. The pass is caught inside the 40 down to around the 37-yard line. Caught on the play by Raekwon Williams-McGee.
Now, if you're going to throw the ball, that's the way to do it. You got to get the quick release, get the ball out quickly before the blitz gets to it. There's a snap, 1-2 step, throw the football, just like in practice when you're doing 7-on-7 drill, and that's where you got to get some confidence in your quarterback.
Raekwon transferred to Independence from Walnut Ridge, and they'll keep it on the ground. First man through, that's Bryce. He's got a hole. Can he break it outside? He does, and drags the defender with him. Well, I tell you what, one guy to beat to the outside and hanging on for dear life on the play was Jalen Nicholson to make what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, Jalen Nicholson, the strong safety there. How about the giddy up by Vontez Bryce, making somebody miss right there, and you can see the tackle hanging on at the very end, grabbing a piece of that cloth just to be able to bring him down, part of that jersey.
Picks up a dozen on the play, 1st and 10 now. Mark the ball at the 25-yard line, 10.5 left to go. First man through again, that's Bryce. And Vontez will get another probably 3 yards on the play, 2nd down and 7 now. As you mentioned it, Jeff, they've kind of gone away from the pass and stayed with that running game, and they're chewing up 3, 4, and sometimes 10 yards at a time.
Now, the first drive of the game tonight, Randy, they came out, had a 10-play drive, and then they had the strip sack. This is the kind of drive that they had at the very beginning of the football game.
So gain of long 3, 2nd down, and a short 7, under 10 left to go. There's Bryce now going to the top. One of 2 receivers to that side. Now they want to dump it underneath, and Vontez has got it. Goes outside, then cuts it back diagonally inside the 15-yard line and has a nice gain on the play. And they play with that sense of urgency. We mentioned sometimes 5 seconds is the longest they'll go from when they break the huddle. And Bryce, the smallest guy on the field, is seeing a lot of action right now.
Well, good job sitting down in the zone and just giving your quarterback a solid target to be able to throw to, and the offensive line protecting just long enough for Demario Williams to be able to throw the football.
So Vontez Bryce, who likes math and art, and a returning starter, has enough for a 1st down, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. It's Sample time. Gets away from one defender, again takes that diagonal move inside and gets it all the way inside the 5, inside the 3, and may have enough for a 1st and goal for the 76ers.
That's the 7th play of this drive, Randy. They're doing a great job and mostly running the football right in between the tackles. Nothing real fancy here. Get it up inside. Good lead block right up the middle by Treston Claiborne. They believe him to be as good of offensive lineman as they have on this football team, and a big kid too at 6'2", 263.
And they're employing the KISS method here. Keep it simple. Sixers on offense with 9:14 left to go. A timeout going to be taken on the field. So with 9:14 left to go, we stand at 21-0, and the 76ers knocking on the door here in the first half of week number 7. I've got some great news. It's the Electrical Trade Center Fan Cam. Energize your career today by becoming an electrical apprentice with the Electrical Trade Center. For more information, I'll give you the phone number 2 times, 614-463-5282. 614-463-5282. The Electrical Trade Center Fan Cam. Check them out for all the great opportunities they have. I wish I would have had more of that, Jeff, in high school.
No kidding.
That, and I wish we would have had home ec for the boys back then. But that didn't happen back in my era, at least. I learned how to do electricity and weld. Doesn't help me when I lose a button off a shirt. So it's first and goal from the 3.
It would solve the problem for you officially for the rest of your life.
That's right. I weld that button right on my shirt.
No kidding.
All right, keep it on the ground here and a first and goal from the 3.
It would only hurt for a minute, Randy.
Thank you very much. You would feel no pain, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely not. In fact, I'd do it for you.
What a guy. What a team player. There you can see the distance between the ball and the goal line. Let's see if they keep it on the ground. Who gets it? That's going to be the quarterback.
Whoa, lot of push.
Williams will push the pile into the end zone for the touchdown, waiting for the call. Now we get the call. 9:07 left to go as Williams takes it in for his 3rd touchdown on the ground. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and the 76ers on the board with 6, and they'd like to make it 7, but they'll probably try to make it 8 because they don't kick the extra point. Nothing fancy there, just the surge.
Getting some good pressure right up the middle, going right over that center. Ebenezer Isaiah. And then undersized for the rest of that offensive line. Ebenezer at 5'11", 195 pounds. He looks to either side of him, and he's got almost 300 on each side.
See if they keep it on the ground or look for somebody like Williams McGee, who's got 5 2-point conversion catches on the campaign. They want to throw. They go on the out, and the pass intended for Williams McGee. And he's upset. There was some contact, he thought, on the far side with the coverage by Jeremiah Tucker, but the try for 2 is negated.
Looked like Tucker might have been in the huddle. He knew exactly what the play was going to be. There you see the throw. And the defense nearly intercepted.
21-6 the tally with 9:07 left to go in the first half. You are watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus. The 15th and final season of Supernatural kicks off this week. Brothers Sam and Dean Winchester will be moving to Saturday for this and the next 3 weeks. Don't miss the season premiere this Saturday at 8, followed by the season premiere of Legacies, only here on the CW Columbus. And there's the kick, and it's going to sail to the far side and dribble out of bounds. We'll bring it out to the 35. 9:07 left to go here in the first half as the Sixers get on the board, courtesy of that 9-play, 65-yard drive. Took 2.5 off the clock. And, Jeff, you mentioned it, the running game was working so well, and they stuck with that most of the time on that drive.
Yeah, they really did, Randy. And, they're kind of a hurry-up football team, so it only took 2 minutes and 32 seconds, even though they were running the ball most of the time. And I think that's the recipe to get back into this football game. In order to do that, though, you're going to have to get a 3-and-out against this Marion-Franklin offensive team. And my goodness, with Jeremiah Tucker at the tailback, or at the running, or the quarterback spot, and Talon James in that backfield, they've been difficult to stop.
They're not going to take the ball to the 35-yard line. The option is to force them to re-kick, so they'll kick it again this time from the 35-yard line. So if you're not kicking deep to begin with and you're doing the grenade or the squib kicks, I figure you could get even better field position here if you pick it up and actually advance the football and just don't fall on it if it's not knuckling too much. I guess, where do you go after you have the mayor in the first quarter, Jeff? The hierarchy. We've got you then. And then
well, Mike Todd. How do you get bigger than that? Really. The guy. The man.
He is the man. There's the kick. It's a line drive affair. And the return will start from the 21-yard line.
Oop.
Not this time. Spinning around is Jesse Johnson. And Johnson got it up near the 30-yard line. So perhaps the 35 doesn't look so bad after all. But instead, the Red Devils will get it back. Just under 9 left to go in the first half. Take a look now the numbers on Jeremiah so far. That's running the football, folks. 4 carries, 93 yards, and a couple touchdowns for the signal caller for the Red Devils. A guy that is getting some NAIA looks right now, Jeff, because 5'10", 175, but he's really touting himself more and more as an athlete for what he can do as a quarterback, running. We've seen him throw it, but also for what he did in the past as a wideout last year, 30 catches, 388 yards.
Put him in the slot, let him run the jet sweep. Are you kidding me? The guy would be terrific on your football team.
Backs are split on a 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Little razzle-dazzle outside, then inside, then put your head down and get what you can if you're Taylon James. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. Became a starter last year, I think, after Malik McIntosh was injured. Had a big game against Westland, 22 carries, 161 yards, touchdowns of 10, 15, and 39 yards. Brother Thomas, by the way, was an all-state outside linebacker at Marion-Franklin in the past. Johnson's going to the bottom of the set. One back. You look at the running back. Is that kind of a deep set for that tailback? He's about 8 yards back. Well, it looks like when he goes to the sweep, that's what they do. And this time James turning the corner, gets it up across the 40, maybe the 41-yard line.
That's the old USC student body right. I mean, that's exactly what they did way back then. Put the tailback back 7-8 yards, let him catch the ball deep, and you got a great view of the field as it opens up ahead of you. That's exactly what they're doing there, giving that running back as much vision as they possibly can.
First down just past the 40-yard line now for the 70. I checked that for the Red Devils with 2 wide at the bottom of the set, among them Jesse Johnson. Four wideouts altogether in this play. And the quick pop by Tucker. Pass is caught inside the 45, the 40. And look at the breakaway speed all the way down for the touchdown. Royce Morris going to take it in for the touchdown. And just like that, they answer the touchdown scored by the 76ers. It's now 27-6. 7:37 left to go on this big airline in the first half.
Well, Randy, good target, and he ran the seam route here. And again, in zone coverage, right in between the corner and the safety. Nobody covered Royce Morris as he came across, and that is an easy touchdown. Good catch and throw. Jeremiah Tucker, second touchdown pass on the evening.
And a chance now for the 28th point with 7:37 left to go for Maynard Lucero, who's missed only 2 this year. I think they were 1 man short, or are they? I think they're going to go with 10. For the extra point, it didn't matter.
They still give you 1 for it.
That's right. 28-6 the tally now with 7:37 left to go here in the first half of this one as they answer that score rapidly for the 76ers, and now the team that's 4-2 looking for more here. 7:37 left to go in the first half here on the CW Columbus. I'm Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, and Mike Todd. I'm going to take another look at that touchdown one more time and look at the separation. We talk about that breakaway speed, Jeff. We saw it here in this play.
Again, look at the separation of the corner and the safety. That's the receiver's job, to stay right in the middle of that zone, and they become, kind of schizophrenic. Nobody's going to take me if I do that situation. 3 plays, 72 yards, only took 1 minute and 21, but you run that seam and you do not allow any of those 2 guys to jump you, and it's almost like you take him, I got him, I'm not sure who's got him, before you know it, boom, he's in the end zone.
And how deflating is that for the 76ers now, because they finally find that the tonic is to keep the ball on the ground for the most part, and then rapidly the Red Devils answer the score that you got to finally dent the scoreboard. It
is demeaning. I mean, you get in that kind of a circumstance. I mentioned the defense had the responsibility of getting a 3 and out, turn it back over to that offense as quickly as you can.
There's the boots. And the return coming up across the 20 to the 30, all the way up the middle and all the way up to around the 40-yard line, as that time on the return is Raekwon Williams-McGee. Well, next week, Thursday Night Lights travels to Olentangy Orange for that contest. Technically, will be in Orange Township when they take on Westerville Central. 5-1 against 5-1 as we speak. Should be a good one from the Buckeye Division of the OCC. Join us next Thursday at 7. That's Orange hosting Westerville Central. Dave Sakuti, the commissioner of the OCC, will drop by as well, too. So 1st and 10, mark the ball at the 40-yard line. Late ad on defense now for the Red Devils. And going back to throw and throwing long downfield across the middle, and the pass going to be picked off on the play. Intercepted and coming back the other way. Here comes the Red Devils in the person of Jesse Johnson. Johnson got drilled at the end of that play.
Holy cow.
He got waylaid at the end by number 56, Treston Claiborne.
Boy, and he felt that when he's coming right to the sidelines. What a terrific play, though, by Jesse Johnson. Our Mike Todd told us before the game, watch for this kid. He is a player on both sides. He high points the football, and then it's fire, fire, fire. Everybody get in line, find a white jersey to block, and then out of nowhere, wham! Holy cow.
We saw him as a sophomore when he started, wearing number 22 back then. And a guy that had a 30-yard interception return for a touchdown against Independence. I remember 2 years ago he told me that he liked engineering and cutting grass. This time he was gliding over the grass and cutting through that offense of the 76ers and has the ball right at midfield for his team. 1st and 10 from the 50 with 7:16 left to go in the first half. Already up 28-6. And bouncing it outside and still looking for a gap, but not a whole lot there. Maybe a gain of 1 or so. There wasn't a whole lot there when he turned the corner for number 5, Talon James.
3rd turnover tonight for Independence. 2nd interception thrown. You know, Talon James, solid football player, 5'11", about 185. Came in with just 400 yards rushing. Now, Trent Salters, Randy, was also a backup running back there. He was the starting middle linebacker on this football team. He was ruled out tonight because of a sprained ankle. I talked to him on the sidelines before the game. Said it was a weird deal. Just happened Monday in practice and nothing special. And all of a sudden he finds himself in street clothes here in the City League South battle.
You and I saw him at Hamilton Township in the past as well, too. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 from the 49-yard line. Tucker rolls right. Going to heave it downfield and has a man. Can he adjust his shoulders? Oh, he can, but then lost the handle. Johnson thought he had it, but the quick paw on the play by Raekwon Williams-McGee, he got just enough to deflect that ball, and I think just screwed up the concentration of Jesse Johnson.
Yeah, underthrown just a touch, Randy. Let's see if the ball is tipped. Certainly was. So that's what makes it difficult. Look at this picture. Do we have a great crew or what? Ball tipped right there and unavailable for Jesse Johnson to be able to come up with that touchdown after he had the interception to set it up. See if they go back knocking on that door one more time.
Levi, a.k.a. Leviticus Brown, over center to snap this football on a 3rd down and 9 from the 49-yard line. Just over 7 minutes left to go in the first half of this one. And Tucker, plenty of time, the out pattern, but the pass a little too far to the outside, so we'll set up a 4th down scenario now for the Red Devils, who's looking for Johnson. Do you go for it here at midfield, or do you punt it up by 22?
You kick it away, Randy, no doubt about it. That's only the 2nd 3rd down try that Marion-Franklin has had all night long. 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions.
I think we only have 1 converted 3rd down so far in this first half. 22 points the difference right now. Keep in mind, too, in the second half, if the margin becomes 30, then the continuous clock factor comes into play. Damon Scales will check in. Go in that wing of the offensive line. Punting situation now for Jalen Faulkner. He's had some good punts this season. Had some he'd like to improve.
Just need good snap, take care of the football, get a good kick here.
Pressure to the inside, and it's high, but not that deep. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. Going to take a Red Devils trickle inside the 20 to around the 17-yard line. 76ers will get it back now with 6:46 left to go here in the first half. 28-6 the tally in this one. Good evening, Columbus. It's a new twist on local news from the only station that's truly on your side. It's fast, convenient, and won't waste your time with stories you've already heard. Be sure to check out Good Evening Columbus weeknights at 7 on ABC6. I've checked it out, and you should too. And we've got a flag on the play. Nobody saw it. It's at the 46-yard line. So with Scott Wilson and company, we're going to come back and pick up the flag and find out what's going on here. I think they're going to force them to repunt the football.
Well, it's a major penalty too, Randy.
Going to mark him back 10 yards.
And normally if it's just a 5-yard penalty, you're not going to take that. You'll take possession of the football. But a major penalty now. Let's see if Independence tees off and goes after the kicker here. Watch the bottom of your screen.
The inside route was open earlier. Williams-McGee is back deep, and there's that inside route again.
How did he miss it?
I don't know.
Holy smokes.
Ball trickles inside the 40, down to around the 31, and is exhausted at the 30-yard line.
He looked like he was
right in there. He was going to shake hands.
He was beyond the punter. One of those things where you surprised me. I got here a little bit quicker than I was expecting. Watch real close here. Good snap, good position. Oh my. And there's an art to doing this, guys, and they practice it like crazy at the college level. You have to go where the ball is coming off the foot. That time he went towards the punter. You got to go where the ball is going to be. And unfortunately in high school football, you don't have enough time to be able to practice with your special teams that art of blocking punts.
It is Sample, and he got to the line of scrimmage and is whipped down there. Good pursuit by the defense to stretch it out. The guy on the bottom of the pile, you see big number 56, that's Jalen Faulkner, who's also the punter. He got some help, too, from Ricky Anderson in that play. So mark it back at the 30-yard line. We'll give him about a half yard on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 9. 6:16 left to go in the first half. Numbers on Sample so far is, again, those 68 yards will throw him over 1,000. In fact, if I add that at the top of my head right now, he's got 1,051 on the campaign. Student body right, but no blocking to the outside, and great penetration, and the hit is made. It is, again, Jalen Faulkner saying, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah, good effort by Jalen. 2.5 quarterback sacks, 3.5 tackles for a loss coming into the game. He was a move-in from Northeast Ohio. He played his high school football a year ago up in Akron, new to the Columbus area, and feeling a real part of this Red Devil football program.
That's Quanair Tatum. It was 55, not 56, who made the circle route and made the hit on the play. So Tatum makes the hit. And the big guy that's 6'3", 254, and coming back next year, 3rd down and long. They need 16, and somebody violated somebody's space.
That's what happens when you get excited on the play before.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense number 55, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, we know that's Tatum.
We got it right that time. And Quanair Tatum, 7.5 tackles for a loss coming into the game. I think a young man's going to get a little bit of a blow over here.
But you like his motor, don't you?
I really do. I think the kid's got a real upside. 6'3", 254, just a junior. Again, a big body that's going to be a great future football player for the Red Devils.
Quick pop, passes high. It's going to be picked off on the play. Taken back by the Red Devils and in for a touchdown on the deflection. Guess who's got the ball? You got it, number 2, but number 1 on the football field for the Red Devils. It's Jeremiah Tucker who takes it in, and that's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. And get that abacus out. It's now 34-6 with 5:08 left to go.
Yeah. The one thing you ought to do is, before you celebrate, go back and thank the other defensive players who set this up for you. There's the tip. My goodness, what a play. Jalen Nicholson coming up from the strong safety spot, tipped the ball first after it hit the receiver. And talk about being in the right place at the right time. Jeremiah Tucker, he is having one heck of a night tonight for the Red Devils.
But ball security, he didn't like the way he carried that football down the field, though.
No, 4 turnovers tonight for this Independence football team, Randy, and that is a recipe for disaster. 34-6 on the scoreboard, 5:08 to go.
I don't know if Jeremiah's a bullfrog, but I tell you one thing, he's a football player on either side. He's a happy guy right now, as you can see, and little liquid refreshment right now with 5:08 left to go and a chance to make it a 29-point cushion. Snap, kick, a line drive affair, and it's no good. So we stay at 34-6, 5:08 left to go. Again, one more score by the Red Devils without a score by the Sixers, and we'll have that continuous clock when it happens in the second half. So 5:08 left to go. And, you know, Independence has not looked bad offensively at times. It's just been the miscue that's been so much to shoot them in the foot.
Exactly, Randy. The first 2 drives of the ball game, when they were moving the football, they have turnovers, and then you get a play like this. This is the 4th turnover of the football game. And against a team like the Red Devils, who are going to take advantage of the mistakes that you make, it's just disastrous for the team, and it shows on the scoreboard, 34-6.
So remember, too, Independence was the team that was receiving to start this contest. So Marion-Franklin, with a large lead, will also get the ball to start the second half as well. So keep that in mind. 34-6 the tally in this one. Marion-Franklin came in at 4-2. They were 11th in Division 4, Region 15. They had been D3 until this year, and Independence comes in at 3-3. They were 24th in Division 3, Region 11 out of 26 teams. The problem is the 3 teams they beat, Jeff, none has a victory. So that's why you can be 3-3 and right at the bottom pretty much of the listing, because it's dependent on not only who you beat, but who the opponents that you play beat as well, too. And they had beaten no one. Kick it is high, it is short, and it's caught, and the return going to start now by Sean Munnerlin. Munnerlin's a guy that they like. He's got a great frame, Jeff, who can be a wide out and also a guy that can be an outside linebacker. defensive secondary person as well, too, and we'll see how he develops over the next year and a half. Stick around at the break for the Thursday Night Lights halftime show. We'll recognize our 2 Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week. We'll meet the marching band directors from both schools, the Music Go Round Marching Band Sound, and Jeff and I, time permitting, will review the first half stats and highlights, and there's been a ton so far, especially for Marion-Franklin in this first half. Gorgeous night for high school football for the 7th consecutive week. On the ground they keep it, and off the left side they go, and the ball is on the ground but after the play. So a short gain by that man, Mr. Bryce. It'll be second down.
Talked about the 4 turnovers that the Sixers have made tonight. Randy, on the other side, not so much turnovers have been a problem, but 8 penalties in the football game for 60 yards for Marion-Franklin. Something that they're going to continue to talk about as they go in at halftime, and those are things that you got to be concerned about.
Second down on the play. They picked up 3 on first down, and going down early that time was Bryce.
Turf monster.
Yeah, lost his balance. Jeff, that's something I want to touch on. We always talk about accelerating into contact. That's easy to say, but you got to be fearless as a running back to do that, don't you?
Well, you got to know and have the confidence that it is the right thing to be able to do. And that time he just got tripped up in the backfield, but you dance around back there, Randy, and everything is just going to close on you. And not every play is going to be a breakout play. You just got to hit the hole as fast as you possibly can and realize when you need to set up blockers. Looks like we got a timeout on the field.
Independence is going to take a timeout. That's their second with 4:03 left to go here in the first half, and they're trailing by 28 in this one, 34-6 here in the first half. And they'll go over to the sidelines. Maurice Douglas is their head coach and their offensive coordinator as well, too. We talked about the miscues in the first half, and they've been aplenty, Jeff. We'll take a look at some of these so far.
This is right at the beginning of the game, at the end of the 10-play drive. It was a strip sack. And then to follow that up, here comes a great interception
by Tucker.
Jeremiah Tucker.
Then downfield, the long pass, and waiting for that is Jesse Johnson, who makes his 5th pick of the campaign. And then yet another miscue. This one's deflected, tipped up, and into the hands of Tucker, who takes it in for a touchdown. And before you know it, it's 34-6, and still a lifetime left if you're Independence, but boy, you've got to correct those mistakes. You mentioned it, Jeff. They each have something to work on. We always talk about the miscues being turnovers and penalties. Well, turnovers for Independence and the penalties for Marion-Franklin. So now you got to think they're going to put it up on a 3rd down and 6 with just over 4 left to go in the first half.
You know, their wins this season have come against Meadowdale, Afrocentric, and West. Losses, Eastmore, Amanda, and Perkins.
Sample, big hole left side, and he's got the first down before he tools out of bounds across the 45-yard line. So 3rd and long, they opt to fool everybody and not throw it and keep it on the ground, and Jalen gets the first down.
Good blocking right up inside, and again, this has not been difficult for them to be able to run the football. They've had success. Creates another first down situation. Clock now under 4 minutes.
Asked Jalen what he liked, and Mr. Sample told me he likes football, English, and of course eating. Sounds like a youngster, doesn't it? 1st and 10 from the 47, 3:55 left in the first half. Will boot this time, and looking is Williams, and pass is incomplete. Intended on the play for big number 4, Michael Johnson. He was sandwiched in double coverage there, and the ball actually floated back up in the air after the deflection and falls harmlessly to the ground. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Johnson came up a little gimpy after the play. Good ball fake back here. Held the line for at least a little bit, giving him the opportunity. Randy, that ball sailed high. That's one you got to deliver right on the chin of the receiver. Don't make him expose himself going over the middle like that. Throw it right there at his chin. Let him pull that ball in, and you've got a completion.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 10 with 3:49 left to go. Williams McGee is widest to the bottom. And the boot and the pass is complete. Caught out of the backfield by Bryce, and Vontez hurdles the stands. And goes over the bench here along the near sidelines and gets a nice gain on the play. Now he need to get down to the 43-yard line. I think he has enough for the first down.
You know, some of these big defensive football players, Vontez Bryce at only 140 pounds. Watch this. I think it was a good choice, Vontez, to get the heck out of Dodge. And the track coach wants to talk to you afterwards.
That's right. Picks up 11 on the play.
The 300-meter hurdles are in your future.
Did you run track?
I did. I ran sprints.
Did you enjoy it?
That was fun.
Did it help your football?
Sure it did.
Okay. Sample around the left side. Can he string it out? He can. Then glides inside the 35 to around the 34. with 3:35 left to go.
Randy, in the spring, though, I was mostly baseball player, but I would go run the sprints when it was the league tournaments and things like that.
Illegal shift is the call. There's a flag down at the 42-yard line. Illegal shift, as the flag is picked up now by our referee, Scott Wilson. So they will go ahead and march that back across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Penalties not been such an issue for Independence. The turnovers obviously have been the killer for them.
Munnerlyn is going to go wide to the top of the set. To the bottom now it is Johnson. And coming back with the play and information is Vontez Bryce with 3:20 left to go.
I'm surprised they haven't been able to target Sean Munnerlyn a little bit more, Randy, with that big size, that big frame at 6'5".
On the counter play, little bobble, then Bryce has got it. Then he glides around the corner inside the 40 to the 35 to the 34. How hard is it to make that move when you go upfield like that, Jeff? I mean, it looks like you're cutting right through butter, and I know as a running back that's not the easiest move to make.
Well, and the worst thing you can do is think about it as a running back. Watch here, see if he plants that left foot and gets himself going upfield. Again, great effort by that young man, and you got a gift for it. You got to be able to make people miss. You cannot block everybody out there. And Woody used to say BYOB. Now, some of you think that means bring your own beer.
Be your own blocker?
Be your own blocker. Make people miss.
It's something that Marion-Franklin had used in the past as well, too. They need 3. A little waggle play. They've got the catch. They've got the first down, and Sample's got it with 2:25 left to go.
Boy, Marion-Franklin's got no solution for that play on defense. They're running a flood out into the flat, running a couple receivers deep and then dropping one underneath. That time they're able to get Jalen Sample out of the backfield and get a linebacker on running back. That is a good advantage to the offensive football team.
1st and 10 just inside the 28-yard line. You can see we're approaching 2 minutes left to go in the first half for Williams and company. Calls his own number. And we'll work it outside, get a nice gain. Now remember, I have them unofficially with 1 timeout remaining here in the first half. So a little bit of a sense of urgency, I think, is needed here if you want to dent that goal line one more time if you're the Sixers before halftime. Mark the ball down inside the 22-yard line. It'll be second down from there.
Again, Randy, you alluded to it that Marion-Franklin will get the ball to start the second half. So this is a critical drive for Independence because they will not touch the ball at the beginning of the third quarter.
And if they don't, and Marion-Franklin does, then the lead could be more than 30. And nothing that time. Great penetration by the defense. I tell you what, there were 2 guys that came through from the very beginning of that play. And the first guy I saw didn't make the tackle, but Talon James was early in that backfield. And then you see big number 25 shooting through as well, too, Damon Scales.
Yeah, Damon Scales coming up from that strong safety spot. You can see the initial play right there, and Damian Scales down. If you got your strong safety coming up making tackles in the backfield, that means you're sending blitzes. So they're starting to bring the heat, much like they did in the first quarter.
They'll lose one on the play. It'll be third down from there with 1 minute left to go in the first half. Third down, and they're halfway home. They need another 5. That's a tough pass to throw all the way across the field. That almost knuckled to the outside as well, too, as he was looking for Bryce on the play. So now with the clock reading 54 seconds, and you're looking at a 4th and 5. I assume you go for it here if you're the 76ers.
Randy was ready to throw the post pattern and then changed his mind in the middle of the throw. That's why it looked so odd going out into the flat. He opted not to throw the ball into the middle, threw it out to the flat, and it was just total miscommunication.
One guy the 76ers are missing right now is Orlando Jones, who broke his foot in the first scrimmage against Licking Heights. He's the heart and soul of this team. Is a wide receiver and a defensive back. Also the City League high jump champion as well, too, who played with energy and passion, and they missed that.
11th play of this drive, Randy.
4th down and 5, looking long downfield jump ball, and the pass is caught and taken in for the touchdown. Count it for the 76ers. Sean Munnerlyn, you talked about him, got a catch earlier on the possession, and Munnerlyn will take it in. That's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Make it 34-12 now with 48 seconds left to go.
Well, good throw by Demarie Williams. He's got to throw the ball in the corner and let his guy go up and high point it. And if you're going to have somebody high point it, it's a 6'5" receiver. And there he goes, able to make the play. 2 defenders out there, but a perfectly thrown ball. And Sean Munnerlyn with his 3rd touchdown receiving on the season.
Best game was against Afrocentric when he had 4 catches for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And unofficially, I have the 76ers burning their 3rd and final timeout with 48 seconds left to go in the first half. Take another look at that touchdown pass from Williams to Munnerlyn. He was second team all-league last year with Sean. And with that long frame, able to extend it, Jeff, and break the plane and get the 6 points.
And I thought pretty good coverage out there too, Randy, but that is a really solid throw by the quarterback.
Last year, Sean had 16 catches for 317 yards and 5 TDs when he was second team all-league last season. So guy that can play wide receiver, or you can put him inside as a tight end. And you got to think, Jeff, at 6'5" and 200 and a junior, he's still going to grow some.
Again, this is a team that does not kick extra points. They're going to go for it in 2, and you can see a lot of conversation going on between head coach Maurice Douglas and his receiver, Sean Munnerlyn. So don't be surprised if they don't go back to number 1 again. It's a favorite play to throw the fade back into the corner of the end zone with your tall receiver.
You got the size, although remember they've tried Williams-McGee earlier in this game for a 2-point try. He's got 5 successful 2-point conversions as a wideout. See what they do here from the 3-yard line on the try for 2. They look and they boot and they go underneath and try to get it to Munnerlyn, and a little high maybe, but through his paws with 48 seconds left to go. So we'll stay at 34-12 as the score in this one with under a minute left to go in the first half of this one.
Looked like he rushed the throw just a little bit, Randy. There's the scoring summary. It took 11 plays to go 66 yards. How about that? When they've possessed the ball and not turned it over, they can't be stopped.
Yeah,
right?
They can finish.
The only time that stops them is when they stop themselves.
You want to talk about dominance, though? Let's talk about Marion-Franklin, Jeff, and what they've done. When you think about the years, I mean, last year 7-3, 2 years ago 8-3, then a really surprising year 3 years ago 3-7, but before that 7-3, 10-2, 12-2, 11-2, 13-1, and 11-1. From 2004 to 2014, their worst regular season was 8-2. The teams they've lost to this year, they're 4-2, are 11-1. They've had 12 playoff berths in the last 15 years. Since 2004, they are 128-28. And in City League South games, they're 96-12 during that tenure. And there's the boot by Lucero. And the return's going to start from the 27-yard line. Little gap that time. And up to around the 36-yard line. And that'll do it. And the Red Devils will get it back with 40 seconds left to go here in the first half. Folks, after tonight's game, keep it right here on the CW Columbus for Fox 28 News at 10. Get a first look at what to expect when you wake up in the morning. And first warning weather expert Marshall McPeak will have your weekend forecast. That's Fox 28 News at 10. No more and no first.
You know, Randy, when you're talking about the domination of Marion-Franklin over the years, how about the job Brian Halfley did as the head football coach during that period of time? 130-35 as their coach. 11 playoffs, as you mentioned, in a 14-season run.
And speaking of that magic number of 1-1, Taylon James is averaging 11 yards a carry in his 8 attempts so far in this contest. 40 ticks left to go. Is this window dressing? Are they going to keep it on the ground? Nope. They want more. And Tucker is going to get less and lost his helmet as well. And there's a flag on the play.
Lost the helmet. That's not the penalty, I don't think.
We'll wait for Scott Wilson to sort this out with 33 ticks left to go in the first half. Scotty, beam us up.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 56, 15-yard penalty. Still going to be first down.
That's how your helmet comes off.
Now, Jeremiah Tucker has to leave the game, right? Because the helmet came off? Let's see. If it comes off by result of the face mask, maybe not.
Not if it's initiated by another player like that. He can stay on the field. If it comes off on his own accord or during a play. But that time it was ruled that with using the face mask, he yanked the helmet off. So that'll be a nice gain on the play. Move the ball up to across the 30 to the 38-yard line. I'm kind of surprised that they're kind of active offensively with 30 seconds left to go.
You got as many athletes as they have on the field. They want to take advantage of getting these kids in space and maybe hitting a home run.
The longest snap count of the year so far. Toss downfield and the pass incomplete at the 40-yard line. Wanting a flag that time and not getting it is Jesse Johnson. 16 seconds left to go. What's already been our longest first half. The Red Devils want to extend it. Coach Laxo, did you see what he did? Came up to our linesman and whispered something to him like, watch this downfield. There's the pass. A little contact on the play. On defense there was Benzel C. Second down. 16 seconds left to go.
5 defensive backs in the game for Independence.
And now it's on the ground in the person of Mr. Tucker, who takes it outside, has room, midfield, 45. I think he stepped out of bounds a couple times, and there's also a flag on the play, too. There's a flag resting at the 47-yard line.
Going to be a holding call. Marion Talbert, who is the H-back in the formation, number 10, out in the flat, and that's who they flagged.
Here's Scott. Mr. Wilson, it's all yours.
Holding. Offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
So Marion Tolbert is the guilty party.
Actually number 10, not number 1. But watch on the right side of your screen. You're going to see right here. There's the hold. Right there, right there, right there, right there. And the throw.
That was 1.
You think they threw it on 1?
Yeah.
Not 10?
Second down, though. Of course, that's kind of a moot point with 8 seconds left to go. But they'll go with a 4 wide out look. They'll stack them behind each other to either side. One back in the backfield. And they'll keep it on the ground. And James will take it to the far side and maneuver as much as he can and get near the sticks at around the 45-yard line. And 0's on the board. No penalty flags. And that will do it for the first 24 minutes of action. And quite a performance by Marion-Franklin. And Jeff, at the break, they're 22 points better right now than their adversary from Independence. As we head down to the sidelines, our Mike Todd is standing by with the number 1 Red Devil.
Well, Coach, dominating performance in that first half, but Independence isn't going anywhere. What are you working on at halftime?
Oh, we got to figure out how to stop that unbalanced off tackle. They're killing us with that. We lost momentum with that big play at the end of the half, so we got a lot to work on. Not many games we've played 4 quarters.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck during the second half. Guys, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. Stick around at the break now for the Thursday night halftime show. We will have the 2 Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week recognized. We'll meet the marching band directors from both schools and the Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. And we'll review the first half stats and highlights. It is all Marion-Franklin in this one, 34-12. We'll take a break on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College here on the CW Columbus.
Marion-Franklin in command over Independence by a score of 34-12. You are watching the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus. It is now time to recognize our Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Lifeline of Ohio is proud to recognize Central Ohio Scholar Athletes. Haley Briggs is on the tennis team at Marion-Franklin High School. She's been nominated First Team All-City and shared Most Valuable Player. She's the senior class secretary and a member of the National Honor Society. Haley has been in the top 10 of her class for the past 3 years. She's participated in mock trial, yearbook, and as a majorette. In the future, Haley would like to further her softball career in college. Haley has a 3.9 GPA. Treston Claiborne plays defense for the Independence High School football team. He's second team All-City. He's been an honor roll student for all 4 quarters of his junior year. Treston serves as a mentor and tutor to younger students in programs like Preps to Scholars. He's also attended the Reynoldsburg E-STEM in his freshman and sophomore years. He loves being outdoors and going fishing. Treston has a 3.8 GPA. Congratulations to these outstanding Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes.
Well, once again, a big round of congratulations to our Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week. We're so proud of them for not only being excellent on the field, but in the classroom as well. Now, tonight is alumni night at Marion-Franklin High School, and many alumni are being honored tonight. It's an absolutely fantastic night here at Marion-Franklin. We've got a packed crowd, and we're so proud to have so many people out here tonight for Honda's Thursday Night Lights. It's been absolutely spectacular. Actually, earlier this evening, I was able to talk to the band director for Independence High School. It is all a part of the Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Happy to be joined by Dr. Eric Aho. He is the band director at Independence High School. Eric, you've been at this for a little while. How long?
9 years at Independence. Well, this is my 9th.
Okay. How many band members did you start with?
Well, I walked into a pretty bare cupboard. We had four.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And we are up to?
35.
And so that's one of the smaller bands, but what are you most proud of with this band?
Well, actually, we're not one of the smaller bands anymore. We're about the 5th largest now in Columbus City schools. But I'd say the kids are really doing it. It's their job to build their band. My band was my high school band. My college band was the college band I was in. This is their band, and they're the ones building it. It's their experience, and these kids that have built this can really look back and say, you know, when we got there, we had this, and when we left it, we had that. Now it's your turn. Don't screw it up.
It's such an important lesson to teach ownership, so that people take possession of that, and you never know how far you're going to take it. Tell us a little bit about your halftime show tonight.
Well, we're paring it down a little bit. We're doing an old Paula Abdul song. All right. She didn't write it, but she sure made it famous. Top 10 called Cold Hearted. My kids tell me I'm cold hearted. You know, that's the way it is. And then we're going to, because we have the induction ceremony tonight by our great athletic director, we're doing a Marvin Gaye song, Got to Give It Out, whatever it's called. I always forget the name of that.
Got to Give It Up.
Yeah, Got to Give It Up. And that's, believe it or not, that song inspired Michael Jackson out of a writing slump. And he credits Marvin Gaye for that, saying that this is what inspired him to write the big disco dance tune, Get Down and Shake It Up.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I tell you what, Dr. Eric Aho, not only is he a band director, he is just an endless fountain of music information. Dr. Aho, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it so much. Just an absolute pleasure talking to Dr. Eric Aho, the band director for Independence High School. And I tell you what, there is nothing like City League halftime show with the band. Coming up, more of the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus. Marion-Franklin leads Independence by a score of 34-12. You are watching the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus. Behind me is the Marion-Franklin Marching Red Devils. Earlier tonight, it was my pleasure to speak to their band director. All a part of the music-around Marching Band Sound. We're joined by Josh Neiswanger. He is the band director here at Marion-Franklin. Josh, how long have you been a member, or not a member rather, but how long have you been a band director here at Marion-Franklin?
I've been the band director here this is my 3rd year.
Okay, so in those 3 years, think real quick, what's one of the more rewarding things about being a band director at a high school? What fulfills you the most?
So we're one of the rare teachers that actually gets to see our kids grow for 4 years. So seeing our little kiddos come in as freshmen, and well, this year is going to be my seniors. I've had them for 3 years now, and seeing them grow from the little kids they were to the young adults they are today and the leaders. It's really amazing.
That sounds incredibly rewarding. What's your halftime show going to be like tonight?
Our halftime show is really special because it's our alumni night. We're going to honor the first band director just passed away, Chad Geedy, just passed away last week. We're going to honor him with our alumni coming out, and our 8th grader already is also here, so we got Marion-Franklin past, present, and future here tonight, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Well, that's a tremendous legacy to be honoring tonight. Where are some of the places you guys are going to be playing in the upcoming weeks?
Next week, we're at the Pumpkin Show, Circle Pumpkin Show on Thursday. We're going to be playing in both bands. Saturday, we have the Utica Bandtober Festival, and those are our last 2 big events for the year.
All right. Well, Josh Neiswanger, Director of Bands here at Marion-Franklin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So great talking to Josh. Hey, guys, you ready for some football highlights?
Yeah!
All right, let's take a look at high school football highlights from across the country.
In motion, he lines up at the H-back. Here's Hardy to throw on the screen. It's complete. Needs a block, a stutter step, finds a room, finds a first down, breaks the tackle, flips the ball forward, caught out of the air. A foot race at the 30, 25-20. All the way down is Thompson Bird and out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
3 to the bottom. They look the other way downfield. The pass is thrown up, and Hughie with the concentration to snare that ball.
See if they actually get a return here or not. Low snap. Boy, they got a chance at a block, and they actually did. Blocked it, picked up in the air. And guess what? Into the end zone.
Here he is on the dive play, shedding his block, squeezing down the line of scrimmage, and I don't know what that it's called in wrestling, but takedown.
It's a takedown.
Yeah.
split to the far side. Handoff goes to Crawford. First down and more. He's right up the middle. He's gone. Tavion Crawford. Touchdown, Big Red. Oh, check that. Got to the goal line. Ball was fumbled, and here comes Dover, the Tornadoes. Back out down the field. Blockers in front and finally knocked out of bounds on the sideline.
Within about 5 yards of him, but there he's starting to slow down.
He was not.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't in the end zone.
Rooksager didn't quit on the play.
Coming up, more of the halftime show. You are watching the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus.
Time. Marion-Franklin on top of this one. Week number 7 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights. 34-12 over Independence inside the press box here at Marion-Franklin. Randy Reinhardt and Jeff Logan. Impressive performance by Marion-Franklin. When they were stopped, it was because of penalties, it seemed like.
Yeah. I'll try a mic and maybe that'll help a little bit. Yeah, that was exactly the case, the penalties. And then you look on the other side of it, I thought Independence looked terrific on offense, but 4 turnovers in that first half, that's a killer.
Time now to check out some of the highlights from the first 24 minutes of action. And boy, there were plenty of highlights in this contest. Jeremiah Tucker will start the scoring on a 13-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning of the night for Jeremiah Tucker. He has been exceptional both on offense and defense. And here we see a pass touchdown
to Royce Morris of some 25 yards to continue the scoring onslaught. Then Jeremiah Tucker showing you his legs, and from 62 yards away, he makes it happen.
Yeah, and again, very athletic and able to continue the play. And this is about extending plays, man. If you're on that offense, it makes it very difficult on the defensive football team.
Then Independence plays a little scrum ball, and Demarie Williams will take it 3 yards for a touchdown to bring alive the hopes for the 76ers. But then it's that combination again down to Morris, and he takes it in 60 yards.
Yeah, this is a seam pass and untouched for the end zone, and what a first half Mr. Tucker had, throwing the football and running.
And also intercepting the ball after the Nicholson deflection. He will take it the distance, some 35 yards for the touchdown. He does it on offense and defense as well, too.
Very impressive night for him, and I don't know what you do to make it better in the second half, but I'm sure he's got more up his sleeve.
And Demarie Williams with a touchdown pass to Sean Munderland late in the first half from 23 yards out, and that gets things a little closer. 34-12 the tally here at halftime in week number 7. Time now to peruse the numbers from the first 2 quarters of action. You look at the total offense, and you can see great numbers for Marion-Franklin, 273 yards. Interesting stat, you look at the bottom, and there's the telltale number there. 4 turnovers committed by Independence in the first half, none by Marion-Franklin, but the Red Devils have to deal with penalties. And third down conversions were ugly in the first half, just 1 of 9. Independence was 1 of 7. Marion-Franklin, zip of 2. Leading ball carrier in this contest, Sample, 13 carries, 71 yards for Independence in the first half. And on the other side, Tucker, 6 carries for 89 yards and 2 scores, and he got 62 of those and 1 jaunt for a touchdown in the first half. 34-12 the tally in this one. We'll be back with the start of the second half in mere moments. Just a reminder, you are watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place, right here on the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Marion-Franklin High School. 34-12, the Red Devils on top of the 76ers. Let's head down to the sidelines right now where Mike Todd is standing by with the head coach of Independence.
Coach, the opportunities were there during the first half, but turnovers were the real bugaboo for you. What was the message to your team at halftime?
Well, the message wasn't very complicated. We just have to keep playing 4 quarters of football. That's why they made it that way, and we just have to keep playing.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck to the second half, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much. And 34-12 the tally in this one. Resetting the scene right now. Marion-Franklin 4-2, but 3-0 in City League South. Independence at 3-3 and 2-1. Independence really needs a win to stay in the upper echelon of the City League South. Jeff, what are you watching for early in the second half of this one?
Well, you got to get a stop right off the get-go if you're Independence, Randy. Marion-Franklin's going to get the football first. If you look in the first half, Independence had the ball for 43 offensive plays compared to only 23 plays for Marion-Franklin. Yet Marion-Franklin turned those 23 plays into 34 points on the board. You turn it over 4 times, those 10 or 11 play drives don't mean a whole lot.
We're going to look at passing, too, in the first half. Williams was 7 of 12, 67 yards and a touchdown. Tucker, 2 of 7, but for 2 touchdowns and good for 85 yards, both of those going to Morris. So it's the way we look at things after the first 24 minutes of action here in this one. And again, Marion-Franklin coming off of wins in the last 3 weeks against Briggs, Eastmore, and West. in succession. On the other side for Independence, they lost last week to Eastmoor Academy, but in prior weeks they beat West and Afrocentric. Getting ready now for the Dr. Pepper kickoff. And remember, Dr. Pepper is the official drink of Fansville. Been there and I've been there again tonight here, and will be again next week. We have the showdown. Are you looking forward to next week? I think that should be a lot of fun. Westerville Central and Olentangy Orange, 5-1 as we speak right now for both of those teams.
I think it'll be really interesting. And you may remember, you probably haven't slept since you saw this, but in Logan's Heroes last week, Westerville Central was one of those 5 teams.
I had a nightmare that would reoccur this week in the fourth quarter.
There is a possibility.
Fair?
There is a possibility that might happen.
Oh boy.
A few surprises, and also a little bit of a answer to your inquiry about one certain program on the west side of Columbus.
Oh, and
that was omitted from the list.
Speaking of programs, I understand there was an award for you this past week from Ohio State, young man. Was it not?
I did. I got a recognition from the Varsity O Alumni Association for an award they call the Loyalty Award for, I guess, lifetime service. You live long enough and you believe in it, they're going to give you an award, so it was very nice.
Return going to start from the 15-yard line for Marion-Franklin, up across the 20, the 25. Still a gap at the 30 and working his way near side. And look at this return. Could it go the distance for the Red Devils down the sidelines? Nice little cutback and all the way down inside the 30-yard line. What a run that time on the return of the kickoff by Jesse Johnson. Johnson, nice maneuvering and cutting it back and getting a huge return there as Johnson has a nice return to start the second half. Ironically, it's Scales who has a couple of touchdowns on kickoff returns, but a great return here as he takes it some 60 yards on that return. It'll be 1st and 10, 12 seconds into the second half, and no worries for Marion-Franklin about any kind of a letdown to start the second half.
No, not going to take anything away from Jesse Johnson. Our Mike Todd told us to watch out for this guy tonight, and he has been good. But that is some poor tackling on special teams. You got to do a better job if you're Independence.
4 wideouts, 1 back in the backfield to start this drive for Jeremiah Tucker from the 25-yard line of the 76ers. And he'll hand it off the left side. Big gaping hole down the sidelines, untouched for the touchdown. Counted for Talon James. James takes it in, and nobody laid upon him. That's his 5th touchdown on the ground this season, and it's now 40-12, and it took all of 19 seconds to tick off the clock in the second half.
Randy, this is just a little trap play going back into the boundary where you've got less defensive players, and you can see a good job blocking on the perimeter, and nobody touches Talon James. My goodness.
Another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and the clock is still running. Clock doesn't run on an extra point. And the margin is not 30 points yet, so. Nope.
How about that?
Nope. They're going to go for a 2-point try to make it a 30-point cushion. And we've got whistles and we've got flags. We've got everything else going on, too. And rolling and trying to take it in and diving for the pylon. Apparently it was not a dead ball situation. Now we'll get the call from Scott Wilson. Illegal shift is the call. The try for 2 was good because the dive by Tucker took him into the end zone. So let's see if we'll move it back to the 8-yard line and try it again. Again, they're up by 28, but on a try for the extra point, the clock should not have been running. We may have to readjust the clock, too. We're going to get an official's timeout now. And our referee, Scott Wilson, is going to come to the sidelines. And we're going to have to fix the clock because I don't care if you try for 1 or 2. When it's a try for extra point or extra points, the clock should not have been maneuvering down. And they're going to march it to 11:27. So now they're going to go for 2, but they need somebody else out on the field. And they'll finally get another wide out to the top of the set. It's Alante McKnight. So mark the ball at the 8-yard line after the illegal shift call. Quick pop underneath, and the pass is going to be incomplete, so we stay at 28 points, 33 seconds into the second half. We'll take a break early on as I talk to the award winner, Mr. Logan, joining us up top here. Week number 7, all Marion-Franklin in this one. They lead by a count of 40-12 after the run by James right here on the CW Columbus. Legacy fans, the Vampire Diaries spin-off will be moving to Saturdays for this and the next 3 weeks. Don't miss the season premiere of Legacies, Saturday night at 9, here on the CW Columbus. Jeff will be watching. There's a viewing party normally every Saturday night at his place. We'll be attending that since the Buckeyes are off this weekend. So
why not?
Popcorn and Papa John's, right?
Why not?
And Dr. Pepper as well, too. Take a look at your new Ramos roof as well. Here's the boot from the 40. A squib kick along the ground will matriculate deep into the 76ers territory, and the return will be a brief one on the play for Raekwon Williams-McGee. And here's a rapid look at a rapid scoring summary. One play, 25 yards. We'll round it off as about 21 seconds. And with that tally, it's now 40-12 in this one with 37 ticks off the clock here in the second half for Independence. You know, Jeff, we've touched on this. You just got to take it one drive, one play, one snap at a time.
Yeah, Maurice Douglas has got a good football team, Randy, and, you know, you're trying to develop a new quarterback. And, again, this is Damari's done a good job. Damari Williams, number 2 in there at quarterback, but, you know, first year really playing football. Good thrower. It just takes a little bit of time to develop.
Pops the pass long. The receiver cut across the middle, so it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And, you know, Damari is quite a guy when you look at him. He just started football up again about a year ago, has a nice arm, and really lost his father, and it was tough for him for a couple of years. And he's on the right path, and a young man who likes math and video games, and got a player down for the Red Devils. You hope it's just a cramping situation at the 27-yard line with 11:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Jeff, I saw the picture of you and Clark Kellogg, and may I say, extremes can attract sometimes.
Oh,
it
my
was very
goodness.
interesting to look at you and the stepladder that you needed to shake the hands of Clark Kellogg.
No kidding. And I'll tell you what, Clark is a great friend. He was recognized as well by Varsity O with what they call the Jim Jones Career Achievement Award. So here's the two of us getting this recognition at the Varsity O homecoming meeting over in the French Fieldhouse. And sure enough, they want to get a picture, and I know better than to be standing next to Clark Kellogg for pictures, because with social media and everything else, I have gotten more comments about that. I couldn't climb a ladder fast enough, you know, to make it a little bit more presentable. I made the suggestion, why don't we sit here on the stage and take this picture? Clark goes, no, I think this is a good idea.
I love the Mutt and Jeff pose. I thought that was pretty artistic on their part to put that together that way.
What a gentleman, though, Clark Kellogg is.
And the injured player on his feet again. That could be Jalen Faulkner. We'll see if it's 56 or 55. If it's 55, then it's Quanae Tatum. But if it's 56, it's Jalen Faulkner. And just a reminder, here, folks, is the Papa John's fan photo of the week, uploaded by Marissa Craddock. It was taken at last week's Thursday Night Lights game between Bishop Reedy and Columbus Academy. That's Marissa holding the big face sign of Reedy football player A.J. Craddock. You got to assume it's a relative, right? Upload your high school football game photos from any game this week to the Papa John's fan channel at cwcolumbus.com. Of course, A.J. Craddock is a guy that is not only a defensive back, but also the kicker for the Silver Knights. And this is Mr. Sample along the far side of the field. Again, they've been able to do that almost at will in this contest. And Sample with a nice gain out near the 40-yard line. 50 ticks gone by here in the second half.
Yeah, they have had a healthy dose of being able to run the football, Randy, and they've had extended drives throughout this football game. Again, running to the left side of the formation and good lead blocking along the way. Sample having a big night.
And remember, he is just a sophomore, too, after a gain of 16 on the play. 1st and 10 now. Williams on the boot, dumps underneath. Wide open on the play is Munnerlyn. And Sean will take it up across midfield, down to around the 45-yard line, and have a 76er first down with 11:02 left to go, right at the 43-yard line.
That's that fade where they're trying to flood the zone, drop the ball in underneath. You can see the defenders turning their back to the play, and they're able to find the big target right there out in the flat. Sean Munnerlyn at 6'5", already a touchdown pass tonight, has a big catch for a first down.
He's got 19 yards on that play. 1st and 10 from the 43. Sample, Jalen, 40, down to the 39-yard line. Nice little diagonal run there. Pick up about 4 on the play before he's brought down. Hit made by Ricky Anderson. Seeing a lot of Ricky and then Quanae Tatum and Breon Scruggs, who can all alternate at defensive end. Levi, a.k.a. Leviticus Brown, a lot at nose guard. And then Jalen Faulkner has been the main man at defensive end, moving from Akron, and a guy that didn't play football really last year, and doing a good job in that defensive front for Marion-Franklin. run by Todd Carter. Remember his dad, Gary Carter, great coach at Walnut Ridge and Brookhaven. And both of those guys, father and son, are great greenskeepers as well, too, if you will. Long pass downfield, and that is just simply overthrown. And the closest guy to the football was actually somebody from Marion-Franklin, and that was Giovanni Scales. Scales 6'1", 172, and a junior. Jeff, does it seem like we have more underclassmen contributing this year than we've had in recent years?
Yeah, Randy, I think it has a lot to do with participation and just simply, a smaller class size to be able to develop guys. And, some programs are having great participation. Others are struggling a little bit, but they're certainly getting the best football players they can out on the field.
Williams-McGee to the top. Handoff goes to Vontez Bryce, and Bryce is pulled down as he got to the 35-yard line. I also have another theory on that, Jeff, that in the society we live in today, because of the so many opportunities that kids have, football takes such a huge time commitment. They're not willing to give up as much time. Once you become older, you have that car maybe and the driver's license and the freedom. It's not that magnet that it used to be.
Yeah, it's not an easy game. It takes quite a commitment, and it's a year-round thing as well.
And we've got whistles and a flag right before the start of the play, the fourth down.
False start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
So it's going to be fourth and longer now. Going to march it back from the 35 up across the 40 to near the 41-yard line. They need to get it down to around the 34. So with 9:39 left to go, and when you're down by 28 points, I don't think it's even a question if you go for it, especially on the short side of the 50. Meanwhile, head coach Maurice Douglas is the guy that runs the offense as well, too, for the 76ers.
Empty set, 3 receivers to the top, and there you got 5 of them back with a silly play by the Red Devils. Again, they were victimized by penalties in the first half. Just a ton of penalties. We had 6 on them for 90 yards early in the football game. A total of now 10 penalties. And this will be for 75 yards of negative yards against the Red Devils tonight. So
here's Scott.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Again, he's your referee. Your umpire is Chris Watkins. Filling in for the injured Joe Sergio, who's here tonight, though. Cullen Daniel, your linesman. Line judge is Andy Nowlin. Back judge is Shane Harding. So mark it down to the 36-yard line. It'll be fourth down from there. They need to get it inside the 34. Oops. Lost the handle, and now he's going to lose possession of the football altogether as he'll turn it over on downs. Little bobble there with the football.
Yeah, just inexperience again at the quarterback position. They were kind of faking the jet sweep, and they wanted to throw the football. Watch again. Here's your quarterback. You're going to fake, but again, ball is loose, and that little bit of hesitation creates an opportunity for that defense to be able to get in there.
Krishawn Adams there to make the hit after the bobble, and the Red Devils get it back with 9:05 left to go in the third, up 40-12, and realistically looking for any kind of score right now to make that cushion larger than 30 and start that clock cranking here more rapidly with that 30-point cushion in the second half.
Great crowd here tonight, Randy, supporting both sides. Love the fact that Independence students wanted to get a bus down here to kind of get some of their kids down to watch them play. That's great.
First and 10 for the Red Devils from the 43. Quick pop. Now the bubble goes out to Jesse Johnson. Very little room to navigate, but makes the best of it that he can and gets it across midfield, and will have enough for first down for the Red Devils. 8:58 left to go in the third. Dave Laxo, quite a career for this guy. First-year head coach, 26 years as an assistant. Are you ready? Eastmore, Brookhaven, Beechcroft, Marion-Franklin, Central Crossing under Trevor White. In fact, a couple stops with Trevor White. First interviewed for the job in December, then got the official notifications after another interview in January this year. And a guy that actually teaches in the building as well, too. Lives in Grove City. He loves being able to coach down here and teach at the same facility. And man, that's really dedicated a lot of his life to the City League. Tate to take it outside, and not a whole lot of help there. Tell you what, there was plenty of guys drifting in on defense, including big number 4, Michael Johnson. He came through, and also see big number 62 on your screen. That is Cliff Antonor, helping to make the hit. Plays at nose guard.
Not much here, and best you can do if you're Talon James is just take care of the football. Ball security, get up to live another day.
Antonor likes history, watching movies, part of the Iman Club, and has 1 solo, 5 assists, and 2 sacks coming into this contest. A loss of a couple on the play. Be 2nd and 13. Looking long downfield and adjusting the football while no one else does to make the catch. Nice play, and inside the 10-yard line is coming down with the football is Marion Tolbert. Tolbert makes the play, and a big play for the Red Devils with 7:50 left to go.
Randy, totally blown coverage, and Jeremiah Tucker saw it. They had stacked receivers out to the left and only one defensive back over there to make the play. 1 DB and 2 receivers in that area. There was no way that they were not going to be able to find an open receiver, and Marion Tolbert ends up getting the big play.
Gain of 39. The one thing I liked more than anything was the way that Tucker caught that snap with one hand. It drifted off to his right. It'll be 1st and goal now for the Red Devils from the 8-yard line with 7:50 left to go in the third. We'll go with 2 backs in the backfield, and this time Tucker's going to be under center. Off the left side and scooting in. They'll get the touchdown. Take it in from 8 yards out. There's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. And counted now for Michael Perry. Perry will take it in, the 5'10", 170-pound junior. And add 6 to the score. It's now 46-12.
Yeah, good opportunity to get some other faces in the football game. This is just basic, solid football going over the left side. And good job by the offensive line. Jaquan Lauderdale, the big left guard at 6'4", 287, and dare I say, just a sophomore playing that offensive line.
And he likes math, and get this, he's part of the gardening club too. How about that? When you're that big, I guess you have to grow some of your own food.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of the gardening club, how good is this football field tonight?
It's in great shape, and that's thanks in part to Coach Carter too, the assistant coach. Extra point is up and good, and we had a different kicker here in the extra point, it looked like, as well too. That was, it was Lucero who made it. 47-12, 7:40 left to go here in the third quarter. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus. 47-12 the tally in this one, so the margin is better than 30 after the kickoff. We can go ahead and roll that continuous clock then, but they started a little early, so I think we're going to have to reset that. But Perry takes it in from 8 yards out, and Lucero adds the extra point to make it 47-12. And they reset the clock to 7:25. Actually, it should be at 7:45, but your mileage may vary.
Who's counting?
Apparently they aren't. There's the boot. It is high and extremely short and caught at the 37-yard line. And wow, brick wall right at the 39. So a short return of 2 yards. And now the 76ers will get it back, down by 35. And now you can start the continuous clock. Time again for the Aspen Dental Smile Camp. Aspen Dental has offices in Hilliard, Delaware, Pickerington, and several other Central Ohio locations. Schedule a new patient appointment at aspendental.com. Aspen Dental, simply easier. They didn't move the entire time.
Looks good.
That's because those are pictures and not real young ladies. Well, they are real young ladies, but they're pictures of them. There's your scoring summary. 4 plays. It took about 80 seconds to go less than 60 yards. And work to do now for the 76ers, down by 35. Williams with the boot. Bryce with the catch and the whip down as well, too. Great penetration pursuit on that play by the entire left side of that defense for the Red Devils. Good to see some new faces out there.
I've had some success with this all night, Randy, with that flood route and throwing to the underneath receiver. Again, this is not an issue about having enough offense for independence.
Ramir Lockhart helping to make the hit on the play. 2nd down now. Williams again wants to throw, throws long, and again the receiver did not go all the way downfield, cut off the pattern early. And it's incomplete intended, we'll say, for Munnerlin on the play, but he started blocking it around the 48-yard line. So 6:20 and ticking in. What is going to be a rapidly played third quarter. It'll be a 3rd down play now. 3rd and just about 8 from the 39-yard line. That guy's put in a lot of miles today, Jeff, just walking and running to the sidelines.
He really has. And again, you get a young quarterback over there, young in terms of experience at the position. Coaches want to communicate. Interesting enough, old school Maurice Douglas doesn't wear a headset over there either.
And Sample gets the handoff on 3rd down and got to the original line of scrimmage and maybe another half yard, and that's it. It's going to be 4th down and long now. 5:48 left to go, and that'll bring out the punt team, it looks like. And there's Coach Douglas.
He calls all the offensive plays over there, and no headset. All right? None whatsoever.
Guy that just turned 49.
Guess who's in charge?
I would say he is. D3 District Coach of the Year in 2017.
That's a good one.
Played at Independence, played at Kansas. Was in the New York Giants camp as well, too. There's a flag on the play. And there's the punt by Williams. And, will hit the helmet of one of the Red Devils and be recovered by the 76ers.
Well, let's see what the penalty is, Randy.
Yep. There's a couple flags, including the one that has not been picked up yet at the 44. And Scott Wilson's always ready to go, too. And he's put in a lot of extra time tonight. See what the call is with 5:18 left to go. Quarter number 3.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
So Independence will get the ball. Now, Steve Bassford, is that considered a muff and a turnover?
And a turnover.
There you go. With our new definition. The term turnover does not appear in the rule book.
First turnover of the night, and it came in a very unusual manner. Hit one of the special teams player in the helmet, and he knew exactly what had happened. And you got to, running downfield, if you're one of those gunners going down the field, you've got to locate the football. And that's one of the hard things to do, is to take your head off of the receiver who may be coming back with the punt to be able to find where that ball is.
From the 33, Sample with some burst of acceleration around the corner, down the sidelines, weaving his way all the way inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15, and 4:51. That'll be enough for the first down as Independence looks to keep moving, and there's a player down on the field, though, for the Red Devils right at the 33. Now, for the most part tonight, we haven't had a whole lot of cramps to deal with here, Jeff. If this is one, this is only the second one, but it could be an ankle and not a cramping situation here with 4:51 on the clock. So they'll tend to him, and as they do that, we'll remind you that at the start of the fourth quarter, we'll go back down to the sidelines where our Mike Todd will interview the new athletic director of Marion-Franklin High School, George Gamble. George and I were talking Cleveland Browns football before the contest tonight. Both of us looking for a bridge to jump off of, but everything was at ground level, so they were thwarted in that attempt. And the guy coming off the field right now for Marion-Franklin looks to be Ricky Anderson, a guy that plays a lot of defensive end for the Red Devils and methodically working his way to the near sidelines.
Speaking of the Browns, what do you think of the Nick Bosa planting of the flag after he sacked Baker Mayfield?
Does one bad turn deserve another? Seriously.
That was pretty good, though.
First and 10 inside the 15-yard line. Handoff goes to Bryce Vontez. Oh, if he keeps his balance, he's probably still running, but that low center of gravity got too low, and he got knocked down right around the 10-yard line. We'll mark it officially at the 9. So he'll pick up about 4 or 5 on the play. Be second down from there. Again, he goes low and just got a hand on him as he was going through that second wave of defenders. Brought down at around the 9-yard line. The second down and about 5 from there. So we tick down to about 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And the push and the surge. You know, Jeff, that's one thing I wonder about in football on all levels, too. We didn't see it to the extent we normally do, but the scrum, as Williams has it, in high school football, not a big fan of allowing that to continue, because then if that happens, you start going for the legs or something. Somebody gets undercut or clipped underneath, and their leg or knee gets twisted the wrong way. And,
they're coaching to it.
I know.
They're coaching to it.
Just like what used to be helping runner and pushing the pile from behind. Speaking of a scrum, there is one. That is a textbook scrum, but Marion-Franklin with size pulls the ball out, but was it whistled dead? Yes, it was.
No promises.
They scored earlier on this quarterback sneak scrum play, and they're going to give them the first down, so it's going to be first down and goal, Randy, at the 4-yard line.
We'll watch again the surge by that offensive line, and Scrumville breaks out right there.
There's the strip coming right there, but clearly the whistle had blown, and first and goal with the 4.
Approaching 3 minutes left to go. Williams will call his own number again, and here we go. I think apropos with the World Rugby Championships going on at this moment right now. The United States team, by the way, got drilled 3 in a row. I saw Argentina beat them by like double figures. Williams called his own number again with 3 minutes left to go. It'll be second down and goal right now. If they score here, that would put the cushion under 30. We'd go back to the normal timing rules. Some size checking into that Marion-Franklin Red Devils lineup as Leviticus Brown goes 305. We'll go in there to play it nose again. And Williams comes back to the sidelines.
Leviticus is a space eater in there. He can take up some room. See if they go again with the quarterback sneak. They do. And nothing that time.
They shut it down.
Quanair Tatum, number 55, in there to make the play. Shot the gap and got inside. And he's had a big night tonight, Randy.
You know, Coach Douglas calls the play. If I'm Williams, I go, can we call someone else's number besides mine now after 3 straight? Take a look one more time.
You would certainly think that they would be coming with some kind of a fake here. You know, they've run this play now 5 or 6 times in a row. Just trying to use the strength of that big offensive line to try and push the Red Devils into the end zone.
Tatum with good pursuit up the middle that time. It'll be 3rd and goal. Under 2 left to go in the 3rd. And a rollout. And a pass. And it's caught for the touchdown. Corralling that ball for a Ramos Roofing touchdown is big number 1, Sean Munnerlyn, who makes a second TD catch. And with 1:53 left to go, we'll tick on 6 more on the board and make it 47-18 with a chance for 2 more.
Again, success all night being able to throw this little flood pattern out here. And the big guy, Sean Munnerlyn, that ball very low for a 6'5" guy to be able to catch, but good effort by him to come up with the catch, and they will go for 2.
And the good thing is, if it's not a touchdown, it's an incomplete pass because it's so low to the ground. So they'll try for 2. Williams the last to check on the field. 47-18 the tally in this one. Sample in the backfield, but Williams wants to throw. They've tried that 3 times, and 3 times they've been non-successful as they look for Williams-McGee. So we'll stay at 47-18 with 1:53 left to go in the 3rd. We go back to regular timing as well now, too. And Williams goes back and looks for that out pattern, and I think all 3 times it was overthrown
been
to
high.
McGee.
Yep, absolutely.
Williams-McGee trying to snare that one. One time Munnerlyn was near it as well, too. So the cushion now at 29. And that's the story here. 1:53 left to go in quarter number 3. Next week, a huge game that we've got from the OCC next week. And Olentangy Orange will play host to Westerville Central. Westerville Central was going through opponents like you could not believe with those scores. And see what happens in week number 8 right here. And here's another reminder. There's only one team of weather experts on your side in Central Ohio. The ABC6 First Warning Weather Experts help you prepare for the best and the worst Mother Nature has to offer. Stay informed on air, online, and through the ABC6 Ohio weather app. I use it. You should use it too. 47-18. Jeff, we've been blessed with great weather the first 7 weeks, have we not?
You know, it's amazing. You know, we've had years where it's been a little bit more difficult. There's 7 plays, 33 yards, took 3:25 to do it. You know, we've mentioned the fact that Mike Todd's got all of this TNL, Thursday Night Lights swag. And, you know, he's really looked good through 7 weeks. I'm just wondering how many more outfits he's got that he hasn't been able to break out because we haven't had that inclement weather.
He's the blinkster. I'm telling you, he's got all the clothing down. He is Mr. Chapeau to everything else as well, too. Just the jackets and the vests and everything. On the return, not a whole lot there. They try to turn the corner. And, Mike, just out of curiosity, is that your fall attire? Do you have another set of outfits that you have waiting in the closet as well?
I will have more costume changes than a Cher concert, guys. That's what it's going to be like here.
Oh, if we could turn back time, I'd talk to your parents. That's one thing I do with 1:44 left to go.
Please don't talk to my parents.
Thank you very much. Mike Todd will join us at the end of the 3rd quarter and the start of the 4th as we talk to another administrator. Again, this is about talking to not only the student athletes but hearing from the administrators too. And he will talk to yet another administrator at the start of quarter number 4 and of number 3. He'll talk to the new athletic director here at Marion-Franklin, George Gamble. Plays right now, all independents. Scoreboard is not 59-28. The number of plays in favor of the 76ers. Got a whistle and a timeout. Marion-Franklin was a lineman short, so they'll burn a timeout with 1:44 left to go here in quarter number 3. Glad to have you aboard for week number 7. You know, we talked about the City League South. Tomorrow night, Walnut Ridge and South, both 3-0 in the league and 6-0 overall will play. Then, you know, we mentioned Marion-Franklin is at 4-2 and 3-0, and Independence at 3-3 and 2-1. So that is a big game coming up. Historically, in the last 4 meetings, this series has been split, Jeff, when you look at it. But before that, Marion-Franklin dominated the series for about a decade. As you assess the play of Marion-Franklin on offense, What do you like more, their running game or their passing game?
Well, I'll tell you what, they've got so much capacity to be able to break big plays, Randy, and I think their goal is to get their athletes in space where they can just make something happen. And I'm a little surprised that they're still showing in spread formation here and not trying to run the football with Talon James. I'm very impressed with everything that they do on an offensive standpoint, and there's another flag.
False start offense.
False start offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Just a little anxious that time was Breon Scruggs, who's a guy that's really done a great job for this school over the years. He is finally a senior. He used to wear number 65, now wears number 50. A guy that likes English and video games and PC applications as well, too. So, 1st and 15. And they'll bounce it outside. There was nothing inside, and you know what? There's nothing outside either. So knocked out of bounds with 1:37 left.
High snap there that came back to both the quarterback and the running back trying to make a decision who was going to take the football.
That was Perry on the carry. Second time he's touched it. He's scored already in this contest. Second down and a loss on the play with 1:37 left to go. As we're wrapping up quarter number 3 of week number 7. High school football action here from the City League South. Coming up in the fourth quarter, we will have Logan's Heroes. Yeah, that's my reaction too. Somebody started choking upstairs here in the press box. They're okay now. Logan's Heroes kind of has that reaction for a lot of folks, in person and at home.
The 5 that make it don't seem to have any trouble swallowing.
Big gap sliding into second base on the play is number 33, and that's Lockhart. Now, Lockhart is kind of backing up Talon James because of the ankle injury to Trent Salters. Lockhart and I think Alexander will see a lot of time as the backups.
Watch him cut off the inside foot here, Randy, and that's boom, right underneath. And this field's in terrific condition, just frustrated with himself. And that's, again, a young, inexperienced football player getting an opportunity. This is where you improve. This is where you get better.
So mark it up to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6 from there. 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. And they'll keep it on the ground, find a gap, and get the first down, and then some. Backing their way across the 40 up to around the 43-yard line. Nice run that time. As again, it's Lockhart on the carry, and the Red Devils have a first down. Now he's in there, but Jeremiah Tucker is still in there as the starting QB. As you take a look one more time from the end zone. Nice cut to the right, then to the left, and then finally when he gets to the third level, the wave of defenders there to knock him down, but a nice run on the play up to around the 43, and a gain of 15 on the play. 1st and 10 from there. And if they run the ball, they only have to run one more player in the third stanza here. Peary just to the left of Williams in the backfield. In fact, that Tucker in the backfield. And a quick pop to the far side, and it's complete. They give ground, and they still pick up some positive yards. Look at this cutback move. And the zig and the zag gets the ball up to around the midfield stripe. So a nice little run that time. This giving ground on the play was Jesse Johnson. Then he maneuvered up near midfield. Has a good gain. It'll be 2nd down and short. When we start the fourth quarter, what a week number 7 it has been. It's Marion-Franklin on top, 47-18. And this is Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College in one place on the CW Columbus.
Welcome back to Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the CW Columbus, presented by Columbus State Community College. Marion-Franklin in command by a score of 47-18 over Independence High School, and I'm happy to be joined by the new athletic director at Marion-Franklin, George Gamble. Year number 1 here at Marion-Franklin. What are some of the things you're excited about, George?
I'm just excited about the community, being part of the community, getting to know the kids, getting to know the parents, staff here. I'm excited. To be part of the Red Devil country and Southside pride.
Okay, so obviously we're talking about football tonight, but what are some of the other sports that you're excited about this year, being the athletic director?
Wrestling is my thing. I'm excited about the wrestling program. We have been working hard with the wrestling program, from my understanding, the last few years, trying to get more kids out. We're even trying to get more youth out. We started a youth wrestling program here and trying to build wrestling through that.
What's the emotion been like this week at Marion-Franklin, knowing that you guys are going to be on TV tonight on Thursday Night Lights?
It's been a high. I can say the kids have definitely been very pride and spirit has been pumping through their blood. They've just been excited, and it shows in how they prepared. As you can see through the score, the boys are prepared big time.
All right, well, big thank you to George Gamble for joining us tonight. This gentleman's going to be a father soon. He's going to have a baby girl. The man is doomed. Back to you guys.
Israel Alexander on the carry that time on a second down play. Looking long downfield is Williams. He's got a man down there, makes the catch at the 10-5, takes it in for the touchdown. Giovanni Scales the sidelines and gets the touchdown. 11:06 left to go. Adds 6 more to the board. You do the math. It's 53-18.
Well, when we talk about extending plays, Jeremiah Tucker is excellent at making that happen. The first look was not there. He was able to break the contain, get outside in the flat, and was able to find his receiver. Watch again, nothing here. He's able to extend the play, sets up, going to take the hit, and there's the touchdown. What a great job of adjusting on the play. And Gio Scales, a young man that's a big play guy himself, 2 punt returns for touchdowns this season, and Gio Scales gets himself a score tonight.
Tucker with the pass. Scales corrals it. Extra point time. Snap. Kick. Nobody moved, and the kick is up and good. 54-18. 11:06 left to go in the third, and now we'll go to the continuous clock because the margin is more than 30. Red Devils put a pitchfork to the 76ers here in week number 7 on the CW Columbus. Folks, Friday night before the 11 o'clock news, join host Jay Richardson for AEP Ohio First Scores on Fox 28. Get the scores and highlights from the best high school football games in Central Ohio every Friday at 10:45 p.m. on Fox 28. 54-18 the tally in this contest, and maybe the tiredest foot in Central Ohio belongs to Maynard Lucero. So boot it again. And the front line able to corral that and fall on it, so it'll be great field position. Snared there on the play by Antonio Harris Jr. There you can see it took just over 2.5 minutes to go 77 yards and a half dozen plays. Puts the cushion at more than 30 again, so once we get the winding of the arms to start the clock, we'll go back to the 30-plus clock rules that we have in effect in high school football in the Buckeye State. Jeff, do you like that, by the way?
The running clock?
Right.
Absolutely. I think it's a good idea. There's some criticism about, not getting kids maybe into play, but I think the idea being in situations like this where it's a runaway, you gotta get the kids off the field and don't put them in a bad situation.
Got a flag before we start the play. We'll sort that out with 10:52 left to go. I think it's encroachment on the defense.
Lined up in the neutral zone.
Encroachment. Defense, number 10. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That kickoff, Randy, reminded me of one of your wedge shots that you chunk. It just doesn't go very far.
You're talking to a man that was the media putt-putt champion for several years running.
So you don't have wedges in
No,
that
I
game.
don't.
You ever hit a fat putt?
No.
Okay.
Not me. I always just sail it about 7 yards beyond it. On the handoff around the left side and zigging and zagging and going through the tiers to the outside is Sample, and a nice gain by Jalen in that play. But there get more flags on the play at the 46 and 44 respectively.
Coming back, it's holding on the perimeter block.
Give it to us, Mr. Wilson. Keep the clock running. There you go.
Holding. Offense, number 18. 10-yard penalty. First down.
There you go. Giving cues over here to the clock as well, too, because we have the new ruling back in effect again, so I'm just trying to remind him every so often. We are full service here, this broadcast team. Steve Bassford, our legendary statistician, he and I go back 3 decades. How far do you go back with Steve?
Oh, man. That's the family, at least 3 decades. Yeah, probably 1978 or 9. And he still knows the birth date of my first child.
Better than you, right?
Yeah.
The toss goes to Sample, and Jalen gets it up to midfield with 9:45 left to go. And Steve would send birthday cards every year to my son, who allegedly is working in the truck tonight.
Maybe we could send Mike Todd out to steal the officials' flags. That might help a little bit. No more flags, Mike, okay? Off limits.
He has a different outfit for that, so he's got to change clothes right now.
No more penalties.
second down.
Did you get a shot of him, though, in his tuxedo on opening night?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I thought, wow. Dressed pretty well in a work release program, don't you? Ball inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down for the 76ers as that time big number 3 taking the ball is Vontez Bryce. And Mike, you wore the tux. When was the last time you were in a tuxedo prior to the start of the Blue Jacket season?
That would have been a year prior when it was the last opening night for a Blue Jacket season.
Well,
I could not get out of that thing fast enough.
You look dapper. Just the combination of Dairy Queen and a tux just seemed kind of foreign to me, though. First and 10 from the 41-yard line. Sample time again, and he's got room. And just cruises down the sideline inside the 30 to the 26. Now, that's got to be hard, Jeff, to have a guy run with the reckless abandon that you have to run as a running back when you're down by more than 30 points, yet you know that you're playing every play to prove who you are.
Yeah, and you know, this is a competitive young man, just a sophomore continuing to learn out there, and I really like his motor and the effort that he is making.
We'll get his totals on the game here in just a second. 8:23 left to go. We've got a flag before we start things. Apparently Mike Todd missed one flag when he went out there to steal him.
Mike, go grab that one right now that's laying on the turf.
It's near you. We won't tell anyone. No one's listening. Here's the call.
Dead ball foul. Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's when you run that 4-3-5 defense.
Yeah.
You can get away with it.
You know, again, you got a lot of new kids in the football game, and this is one where the coaches have got to really pay attention from a substitution standpoint, making sure that they've got the right kids out there in the play.
Demarie Williams still hustling to the sidelines and back to the huddle again to get the information from Maurice Douglas. And they'll hand it off, and nothing that time as Sample tried to turn the corner as 9 on the play met 9 as the hit was made on the play by Krishawn Adams. And a big play in the third quarter as well, too, so a loss on the play with 7:37 left to go. Independence made the playoffs, as we mentioned, in recent years twice, in 2008 and 2017. A couple of years ago, they were 10-2, 6-1 in the league. And a timeout's going to be taken now by Independence with 7:19 left to go on the clock. And now they take another second off, make it 7:18. We'll take a break as well, too. All Marion-Franklin 54-18 in week number 7 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College. Welcome back. 7:18 left to go in regulation. 54-18 the count in this one. Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, Steve Bassford, our statistician, Mike Todd down on the field with all the interviews. And so happy to be with you here in week number 7 of what's been an outstanding high school football season. As Williams brings him up rapidly to the line of scrimmage, hands off the lead back, and Vontez Bryce with a nice gap inside the 15-yard line. And he'll have a first down with 7:02 left to go here in his contest. They'll stop the clock momentarily while they move the chains. Now wave the hands again to say continue. And there's a guy that hasn't backed down either in Vontez Bryce. Might be 140, but one of the biggest hearts you'll find in Central Ohio.
Absolutely.
As you're playing defense right now. On a first down play, and right up the middle, Bryce again inside the 6 and brought down there, whipped down right when he hit the 6-yard line. Hit made on the play by Alante McKnight. You know, each game, Jeff, I try to get 100 points on my sheets in the contest. Rarely do I get past 80. I'm at 90 right now. So the ammunition is running low.
There's a lot of searching going on.
You know, Marion-Franklin, one thing they want to improve on is their run defense, and Independence has shown some flaws as they push the pile, and do they take it into the end zone for the touchdown?
They're saying yes.
Yep, count it. It'll be a touchdown run for Demarie Williams. Give him 4 in the campaign. And add 6 to the scoreboard. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown. And it's now 54-24. Our referee wanted the clock stopped. So they stop it. You don't run it on a 2-point conversion even if the schools agree on something like that. Quick pop, and the pass is thrown incomplete, looking for Munnerlin for the 2-point try.
Flag.
Yep. On the far side of the field.
I wonder if it's interference and they're going to give him another try.
Holding. Defense number 25. Half the distance to the goal. Retry the down.
So we'll mark it at the 1.5. Let's see if they opt to run it this time from a 1.5 yards out as opposed to from 3 yards out. By the way, stats after 3 quarters. you're surprised by some of the numbers. 387 total offense for Marion-Franklin, but 256 for Independence. 166 rushing, 90 passing, 243 on the ground for Marion-Franklin, 144 passing for the Red Devils. And so now we'll try it again from the 1.5-yard line, if you will, with Demarie Williams getting the information. He had 4 touchdown passes against Afrocentric, against Perkins. He had 2 touchdown passes, but only 5 completions, so he will keep it and push the surge. And will he break the plane? Sure. Why not? 2 on the board, make it 54-26. So we go back to the regular timing method with 6:07 left to go. And the 30-point margin has evaporated down to 28 in this contest.
Over 700 yards of offense in this game between the two football teams, Randy. Not much defense being played tonight, but a lot of good offense.
And again, the surge up front, hats off to the likes of Abdul Ba and Babacar Sunah, Ebenezer Isaiah, Trenton Claiborne, and Abdiel Cruz. And there's the try for 2. And again, they've been successful when they've run the sneak as well, too. So they pick up the 2. And again, they do not kick the extra point. They always go for 2. So one thing I think the Red Devils would like to work on is their run defense. They gave up a lot on the ground against Reynoldsburg and Westland, but against Eastmore ran it 20 times, Jeff, for only 10 yards. So they only gave up half a yard per carry against the Warriors.
Well, they got Walnut Ridge next week, right? So that should be a challenge for Marion-Franklin.
Then they play Afrocentric, who's winless. Then they play South, who's also undefeated. Scoring summary, there you go. Under 4 minutes off the clock, 50-plus yards in 8 plays to make it 54-26 with 6:07 left to go, and that gets by everybody.
Hopefully that'll just roll into the end zone and there'll be no return.
And we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and we'll do it again in week number 7 here. Let's see if Jeremiah Tucker comes back out with his team up by 28, 6:06 left to go, and indeed, Mr. Tucker will come back. Leading receiver for this guy last year at slot with 30 catches, 388 yards. Very good athlete. We've seen that. A guy that can run against Westland, 181 yards rushing. His sister, by the way, is a cheerleader at Wright State. And against Briggs, he was 2 of 3 passing for 2 touchdowns. Good work when you can get it. And here he's picked up a couple rushing touchdowns.
Yep. Obviously not much depth at the quarterback position if Jeremiah Tucker is still in there at this point in the ball game. And you got a lot of the starters still in there at offensive line.
Well, Jalen Nicholson would be the backup quarterback, but really too, there's something Coach Lasko was talking about too. These guys haven't played a lot of 4-quarter football, and they're going to need it on the stretch drive here in the City League South. We'll keep it on the ground and a little spin move, and not a whole lot there as the running back has stood up after a loss of a couple on the play. So good defense by that man. Big number 24 making the hit. That's Benzel C. And there it is. Ooh, the much-awaited orb that goes to the conqueror in week number 7. I think I'm leaning towards that second name there, Marion-Franklin.
It's got Mike Todd's fingerprints all over it.
Why isn't he wearing the tux tonight? I think he should wear it every Thursday night.
I do too. I think maybe that's part of the swag that he's got.
And we've got flags again.
Dead ball, encroachment, offense number 1, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Tell you what happened there. One of the wideouts lined up in the neutral zone. They had tandem down here at the bottom of the set and did not look to the official and just planted his foot about, 2 or 3 feet into the safety zone, if you will, and is called for the offensive encroachment, something you don't see too often. It is 2nd down and a furlong, back inside the 15-yard line. Williams wanting to throw, and he's not going to be able to do it.
What in the world?
Make that Tucker back inside the 5-yard line.
I'm lost. I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing here from an offensive standpoint. You're winning by 28. Get lined up in the run offense and run the football and run the clock out. Back here, nearing a safety.
Marquez Thompson, number 55, with help from his friends, helping to make the hit on the play. Back inside the 5-yard line. I'm not good with directions or GPS, but I think they're going the wrong way. So it'll be 3rd down now with the ball resting at around the 5. They need to get it up to the 30 for a 1st down, so I'll call it 25. Here's your running play, and it yields a -3 and is once again making the hit on the plays. Big number 55, and that's Marquez Thompson, a guy that's got good size. Plays the rush end a lot, 11 solos, 12 assists, 3 tackles for a loss. Also has a fumble recovery in this season of 2019, a guy that plays hard on every down.
No, we haven't set a record yet, but we are close. We got 19 penalties in this football game. 4 on Independence for just 40 yards, but Marion-Franklin, 15 penalties for 105, Randy. That is unacceptable to a team that wants to be a playoff football team.
After the punt, I've been warned that Logan's Heroes is just around the corner.
All right, I got to set you straight on a couple things.
Jalen Faulkner back to punt. Glad you waited till now to do it.
Yep.
And a timeout going to be taken by Marion-Franklin with 3:43 left to go. They will burn that puppy. And they sit on top by 28. Ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, dogs and cats, here they are, the top 5 according to this guy to my right.
Well, these are my 5 that I think can do best in the playoffs. I've got Olentangy Liberty, number 1. I got Pick Central back on the screen again. They had a loss earlier in the season. Dublin Kaufman, I think, is moving in the right direction. They get Central Crossing next. Licking Valley, who we saw earlier, they are new to the list. And Granville, Friday versus Northridge. I think they're 6-0, not 7-0.
Gave them the win already.
But Granville versus Northridge. So, all right, and here's what I want to tell you is other teams that probably deserve consideration so you don't get totally upset with me. Jerome, Reynoldsburg, Canal Winchester, Hartley, Alder, West Jeff, Harvest Prep, and Randy was lobbying last week for London. I found that all of their wins against the teams that they have played have a total record of 19-51.
Yep.
I am not giving you London.
Offense, snapping the ball before the whistle, half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
That's one we haven't had before.
Snapping the ball before the whistle?
Yes. So you're saying London's opponents don't make them worthy enough to go into the top 5?
Not yet. And they're going to have some challenges down the stretch. They're going to wrap up at the end of the year with Jonathan Alder, an undefeated football team as well.
I'll be watching then for the other Coach Cutler, as I like to call it. So now, a punting scenario where Mr. Faulkner with his tippy toes on the back of the end zone just about. And gets that one off. It is high. It is whirly birding. And it's bobbled but caught. Was there a fair catch called for?
There was. And
there was just a hug of appreciation at the end of that play. Thank you for doing that at the 28-yard line. So, again, the margin is less than 30. So we have the regular timing rules in effect with 3:39 left to go. And a chance for Independence to cut into that lead. I actually like your top 5. I probably would agree with maybe 4 of them. I'm not sure which one I wouldn't agree with, but I can't agree with you entirely.
Well, I was going to say, you like my top 5, but I only like 4 of them.
That's right.
There's no way to like the top 5 if you don't like them all.
I like the concept of the top 5. I like 4 of the participants. Sample gets the ball inside the 22 near the 21. So you got 2 one-loss teams in there in Pick Central and Dublin Kaufman.
Yeah, who's missing? You like Hartley in there in the mix?
You know, they've had a loss. Harvest Prep lost to Eastmore by 1. West Jeff, I think, is undefeated. The problem with West Jeff is, again, like London, who have they played?
They don't have enough schedule.
And who will they play? Reynoldsburg's had a pretty tough schedule on a couple of weeks. So, in retrospect, I would probably say...
Dead ball, substitution infraction, defense, too many men on the field, 5-yard penalty. That's the result of plays, a 1st down.
That's what I was going to say. No, actually... I'll go with that. I wouldn't mind seeing just a different face, like maybe Canal Winchester in there until they play their big game this week as well, too.
Yeah,
they play Groveport.
It should be a big game down there. I think that's a good team. Reynoldsburg disappointed me with their loss to Pickerington North.
And the handoff, and they keep it on the ground and blitz it inside the 10 to around the 8. That's Bryce on the carry again. I'm thinking, though, too, whoever wins between Westerville Central and Olentangy Orange, if they both win this week and stay on pace, that perhaps by week 10, one of those will be in there. What would really be apropos if in week 10, DeSales and Hartley were both in your top 5 for our week number 10 game.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sample, can he get in the end zone? He does! Touchdown, 2:41 left to go. And that's 6 more to the board, 54-32 the tally. When you said 1951 for London, I thought you were talking about that was the year you were born, perhaps. But make it a 22-point cushion right now.
Yeah, their schedule totally lopsided in terms of the first 5 or 6 games versus what they'll have coming up towards the end of the season. Untouched into the end zone.
And that's one of the problems I have with some of these teams. London, West Jeff, and Jonathan Alder basically are no longer part of Central Ohio with their schedules that they play. And I realize they're doing what's best for them. They try for two. They're going to hand it off. Bryce breaks the plane, and I don't think his knee touched before he crossed the plane. They signal 2-point try is good, so it's 54-34. By the same token, I miss those schools because they don't really have involvement with Central Ohio to a large extent. Meanwhile, you've got Buckeye Valley that's been welcomed back into Central Ohio because they have joined the Mid-State League. So I'm glad to see that we gained one, but I'm sad to see that we lost the teams like, London and Jonathan Alder and West Jeff as well at the same time. The question is, what have we not talked about with 2:41 left to go? And we'll get to that probably in a little bit as well, too. 54-34 in this one.
So who do you think is the best team in Central Ohio? When I say best, the chance to go the furthest in the playoffs. Well, so it may not be Division I.
Who is the best team right now? I would say Liberty. Who's the best team by playoff times? Might be Central, Pickerington Central.
Yeah, could very well be. But who's going to go the furthest in the playoffs?
I liked Hartley until the stumble against Clinton Massey. I really liked what they were putting together, and that surprised me, too. I think the sales has come on, too. They're going to have tests, though. Think about this in the last 2 weeks for the Stallions. They play Steubenville, and then they play Hartley in back-to-back weeks. So a lot of these schools, too, even, pick your league, you have a lot of in-league tests that come in the last couple of weeks of the season. But again, it's good news and bad news. Maybe you get banged up, but maybe you learn more about your team and have them ready for the postseason. There's your scoring drive after your Ramos Roofing touchdown that we had. And here's the return starting from the 19-yard line up across the 20. Exit stage right to a little back cut that way. And look at this, weaving and churning and fighting and going as far as he can on the play is Munnerlyn. And check that, not Munnerlyn, but Jesse Johnson. Johnson's going to get up to the 41-yard line with 2:29 left to go. And give it back now to Marion-Franklin. Is right now I saw the spit shine and polishing being done by Mike Todd on the Champions Trophy that was so neatly designed by our own
Gary Puckett, being cradled right now at the 40-yard line to see how Marion-Franklin will react when they get this trusty award. They've won it in the past. They have a chance to get it again this year. And right now, Marion-Franklin trying to just make sure they have 11 guys out there in offense. And Jalen Nicholson will be your quarterback now. 5'11", 180 and a junior. We mentioned him as the backup, and the young man who likes math will run the show. And Nicholson running to daylight. Up across the 40 to near the 45. Is that a flag I see at the 44-yard line? Why not?
Really, gentlemen, do we need to be doing flags at this point?
2:19 left to go. Scott Wilson.
Holding. Offense number 10. 10-yard penalty. First down.
If you notice, Scott Wilson is now officially horse, too. He was a little pony before. He's definitely horse now.
Oh, my gosh.
2:19 left to go, so we'll mark it.
Broken play there. They've obviously not practiced a lot with this group on the field. And
a lot of new faces out there. But the problem is when you only dress 30-some, Jeff, there's only so much you can do.
I know. I understand the problem.
1st and 15 from the 34. Here's your 2-minute warning right there. And Nicholson going to give a little ground to see if he can get some. Again, working his way outside, and not a whole lot there. Good job that time by Sean Munnerlyn just to follow him down the line of scrimmage. And there's Mr. Tucker helping out. The current quarterback is the starter now on the sidelines, and Jeremiah Tucker. Your assessment of his performance tonight?
Boy, impressive. He did it on both sides of the ball. He did it running. He did it throwing. Randy, he is an impressive athlete, and I think a kid that has a future to be able to play this game on Saturdays somewhere. I just hope he can find the right fit.
And think about that, not playing his true position, playing out of position, if you will, because they needed a quarterback, and he stepped up and was able to fill the bill. Normally a wide receiver or a slot back. So a loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11 as we approach 1 minute left to go in this contest. Or regulation, I should say, too. You never know. 2 wide to either side. Nicholson going to hand it off. And right now, defense just licking their chops and shooting through and making as many big plays as they can. There's not a whole lot there for Perry. And maybe one more play. And wait, we've got a timeout taken by Independence.
You're kidding.
They'll burn a timeout with 46 seconds left to go.
Under what circumstances is somebody taking a timeout?
Under the 46-second timeout rule. All right, Jeff, we'll put week 7 to rest for a moment and talk about week number 8. What a contest we have next week. Westerville Central, Olentangy Orange. Early on, Westerville Central looked like they could not be denied. And Orange is a team, I think everybody's talking Liberty, and then they talked Olentangy. And, hey, Berlin won a game. Well, yeah. Orange is, I don't want to say the sleeping giant, but Zeb and the crew have done a great job, and Coach Morrison as well, too. Fabulous job with the Warhawks, too. So I'm really looking forward to week number 8, and that's coming up next Thursday night from Olentangy Orange. Should be a lot of fun. In week 9, we've got Kilbourne and Bradley. Then in week 10, DeSales and Hartley. In the first ever true CCL game that we've had on Thursday Night Lights, and might be, probably should be, the CCL championship game.
Yeah, it could very well be.
And could be some playoff ramifications as well, too. We'll find out. 46 seconds left to go.
Can we take a knee?
I can. Can they? Got trips to the top. I say we gun it downfield. Atta baby.
Oh, my goodness.
And a pass incomplete with 40 seconds left to go. 54-34 the count in this one. And it's going to set up a 4th down situation now. And you would assume a time to punt. We'll find out. Faulkner back on the field. You have any breakfast plans?
I don't even know what to say. And thank you for the folks that are still listening out there. This game has been interesting, to say the least.
Well, we appreciate
listening
what you
and
do.
watching. Yeah, so you do both. You listen.
We appreciate what you do, Jeff, to elongate this and make it last as long as humanly possible with 40 ticks left to go. And congratulations on the award this past week again from the Ohio State University. Faulkner to punt, standing at his own 20, gets it off, not very deep. And gets another whirly bird, and it's going to hit, trickle around the 40, down to the 37-yard line, and maybe the 36. All right. And the clock never started.
I think the officials have just about had it with the clock tonight.
So 40 seconds left to go. It goes back now to Independence. Gives them a chance for at least 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. So we'll find out what happens here as Independence gets the ball back with 40 seconds left to go in this one. 54-34. Looking at next week for Independence, they will take on South. And they're 6-0. Meanwhile, Marion-Franklin will take on 6-0 Walnut Ridge. So huge Everest for both teams next week. In week number 8 should be a lot of fun to sort things out between Walnut Ridge and Marion-Franklin and South. South's really surprised what they've done, I think, when you look at the Bulldogs at 6-0. Not maybe the strongest schedule. They play all City League teams, by the way, but still, you go 6-0, you're doing something right. And nothing there. And dropped down immediately is DeMario Williams, and a hit made on the play by number 25. That's Mr. Scales, who comes through again to make the hit. And we're under 15 seconds left to go. I'm thinking that may have been the last play of the game. Although there's still a timeout left on the scoreboard. With 5, with 4, and quickly they come to line with 2, with 1. They'll let him snap it. And this is Scales around the right side and across the 40. What if he runs the distance on the last play of the game?
He was trying.
Down to the 40-yard line, and that will do it. 54-34. The final tally in this one, as Marion-Franklin gets the win, they advance to 5-2 and 4-0 in league play. We'll be back to present the Champions Trophy when we come back to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College, right here on the CW Columbus.
Red Devils victorious on Thursday Night Lights by a final of 54-34. Coach, complete game tonight. What did you see from your team?
I see we got a lot to work on if we're going to meet our goals, but right now our goals are still intact, and we are the Thursday Night CW champs tonight.
All right. And with that being said, I've got Brianna and Phoenicia from Celebrate One to make a presentation.
Thursday Night Lights champion trophy.
Thank you very much.
Hey, put your helmets on, man. You know how we going out in style. Put your helmets on. Guess what, fellas? I got 2 hands. Oh, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I said I got 2 hands.
Westerville Central, Olentangy Orange next Thursday night. On behalf of the Image Video crew and the CW Columbus staff, we say thank you for watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights this season. We also thank our sponsors, including Central Ohio Honda Dealers, Lifeline of Ohio, Dr. Pepper, and Columbus State Community College. Stay tuned for Fox 28 News at 10. Up next, all Marion-Franklin 54-34. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again next week from Olentangy Orange. Just a reminder, this has been Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.